All right, and we can get started. So the first MV that I have here is Luna, who made their official debut with Hi Hi. Any Luna stands here?
I am.
I might be a
Yay.
Of course. There's always one.
Very excited. I will say though, that I did not appreciate a lot of the very creepy like upskirt shots and like butt shots and stuff like that they had in this video. It's probably why I've only watched this video once. We just saw one. Unfortunately, yeah. I've only literally just watched this video once. I've been watching just live performances of it and like listening to it on YouTube or like Apple Music because it's so gross. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I just saw
Yeah.
a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that seems to be a running theme with their videos.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like I didn't actually pay much attention to the video. I think I was just like more so listening to the song. Like I think I actually had the video open in another tab and was like listening to the song.
Okay.
So like this is my first time actually seeing it.
I was dumb enough to read a whole like essay about how this video brings the other videos together.
Yeah.
And how this video was about all the girls like forming together to become Luna. I don't remember most of it, but it was really comprehensive. I was impressed.
Yeah, there were some shout outs. Like before there was I think it was Olivia He was in the middle and they had like Odd Eye Circle, which is like their most successful, I think, subunit. Like kind of surrounding her, and then they had like Luna 1/3, like and like Luna YYXY, they have like little moments and like the dance and stuff like that where it's just them. So there's a bit of a shout out to like the subunits, but also kind of like it's them coming together. And I mean the song's called Hi, like it's like the group saying hi because they're a group for once, you know?
Yeah.
So I think there's like a lot of subtle things. I mean, I don't really watch any of these sort of like theory videos, so I'm sure I miss stuff, like tons of stuff. But that's what I saw from the only time I watched this video.
Well, you know, theories aside, this track is actually the weakest track on the album, in my opinion.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
I've heard that. I haven't had the chance. I meant to listen to the other songs because apparently they're quite good.
Yeah.
And I know some people had said that they thought this was really, really safe for them, like as far as the other tracks were a lot better. And this was kind of a really safe track to debut with. But I can understand why they would choose the safest track.
Yeah, and they're like they still have like pretty young members, so I don't think like with Favorite it was sort of like a bad girl kind of concept, but also sort of sexualizing like the schoolgirl concept, which I mean they've done before too. So I think that them coming out with this, which is more like IOI, I think Cosmic Girls, it's actually better. Like I preferred it because I was a little worried
it's not a bad song. Like as far as like cutesy songs go, this is more on the tolerable side.
Yeah, me saying this is the weakest track on the album is really not like at all coming for this track because that album is amazing. Like it's a really good album.
Very strong, yeah.
One of the better efforts that I've seen probably the whole year. No shade to anybody else. No shade to Twice, Red Velvet, Blackpink, anything like that. It's just really good to me. It's well produced. It's not like too loud. I mean, this is a loud song. It's pretty noisy. And for me, I just like don't really like that loud, you know, chorus, really anime type of feel. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like an anime theme song if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
it does.
but it's
it
fine,
does.
like for what it is. It does the
Mhm.
job.
Yeah, and they've been promoting this song and favorite, so um, they have been promoting the other track too, some a little bit. So
Yeah, it's stylish, perfect love. Those are like pretty good songs. I'm
Yes.
looking at I'm actually looking at the track listing, and Daniel Caesar actually wrote for Yogi or Nine, like he co-wrote the lyrics for that. So I mean,
Wow.
they
hmm.
have money to spend, and they're like looking all over the place and sort of
Oh
like
yeah,
bringing in the talent. So
Blackberry has got tons of money. I
it's
remember reading somewhere they were talking about how much they've spent on Luna so far, and it's like up in the millions.
That's
yeah,
so. It's really refreshing though to hear
yeah,
that, especially that they're sourcing talent like Daniel Caesar, people who are like obviously huge culture creators and like incredible writers, incredible talents, but may not like have the audience. You know what I mean? Like this huge audience. I still think it's
yeah.
really cool that they're like they don't. It's clear that to me that they probably don't care that much about like the brand name appeal and more so about like just having good fun music.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you don't have to worry, I think is really the idea. Like with some of these companies like that are so like SME, which is so profit oriented to the
Yeah.
extreme where like they sacrifice even their artists. It's
Yeah.
kind of refreshing to see this company being like, ah, it doesn't matter how much we spend. We just want to like do the best that we can do.
I
yeah.
might go ahead and become a trainee then.
So like I want to go the Blockberry
Right.
creative where they'll just
Exactly.
spend tons of money. They just don't care. Yeah, yeah. I know they said that they wanted Luna to be like Korea's next representative girl group, and I saw like Luna had been trending a little bit. There was an English, I forgot what blog it was, but there was an English article trending about Luna, why people
Ooh.
were posting the Luna stands were posting Stan Luna everywhere, and basically it was kind of like the tone of the article was like, "Are Luna fans going to be the next armies?" Sort of
No.
deal. Because I
Well,
think
I
that's
hope
what
not.
people are kind of getting or trying to make this impression of, because Luna fans are so dedicated to Luna and have been promoting them a lot.
I think
Um,
hopefully when they get out of this like this new like what would you call it, like rookie artist sort of phase,
Yeah.
hopefully that will die down. I think that it's kind of like the Silver Kid situation where it's like because our group are newbies or whatever, because they are come from a company that's not SM or JYP or whatever, we feel the need to be in your face. But hopefully, Luna is so far I think a very talented group, and hopefully as they get more known, their fan base will calm down and won't feel the need to like go to bat for them all the time. You know what I mean? Um,
Yes.
mm, yeah,
one can only hope. So,
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of armies,
oh Lord.
BTS came back with Idol, and this video became the most watched video in 24 hours on YouTube ever. They beat out Taylor Swift. So, armies, good job on that, I guess. And yeah, this version does not have Nicki Minaj on it.
That's great.
Surprise,
That's
surprise.
a separate digital
I'm very
thing that
shocked.
we'll talk about. Very shocked that she's not in the video.
I mean, come on, they don't ever put their features in videos.
No.
Except for Steve Aoki, but he wasn't really a feature, so I guess it's different. But
And he's
still,
Asian, so
well, you know, the tea is the tea. I don't make the rules.
I'm surprised you weren't the one to say it, Jamin, but you know.
this honestly, like, I've watched this video once, and I was just like, it's
I'm
noise.
already not. Uh, I'm just not with it. I wish they'd go back to Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Oh my God, yes. Please just make music. Like, okay, you know what? You can have your crazy deep music video, I guess, if that's what you want. I don't really care. As long as the good music is good, I don't care.
I mean, giraffes and weird shit. What?
I mean, I just got done praising them for their videos, and then they do this. I just got done saying, like, out of the whole K-pop industry, their videos seem so cinematic and so beautiful. This is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of funny that the trailer or the promo for this video had them in like traditional, yeah, it was like in traditional Korean outfits and like traditional instruments, and then you get the video and it's
Totally
I think
different.
my initial tweet about it was like what in African Lion Safari, because that's all it reminded me of.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of like Afro beats, African like dance moves, and like Bollywood dance moves in some places too, like here. And like, but it's just really loud.
Yeah,
Like
that's exactly what it
Yeah.
is.
it's like fire.
The
Fire is just really
teaser.
loud to me.
No, fire is very loud. But what saves fire is the choreography is really dope. But I thought the teaser for this was so dope. Like I was like, this is gonna be like their next go go, like their next Asian inspired like track, which is refreshing to see a K-pop group do something that's actually Korean. And
Yeah.
then when I saw the description for it, like oh Afro beats and da da da, I was like, what does Bang PD have these boys doing? And then when I saw the video, I was like, what is this? I was like, my eyes were assaulted. I was scared. I'm scared now.
I can't focus. Like
I can't either.
There's just too much going on.
And it's sad
Even
because their outfits, I think, are like their costuming isn't bad. Like I think they look pretty nice, all of them.
it's
No, I love
just
the
like
suits. I love
they're
the suits.
trying to do
Too much.
Yeah,
You know what it reminds me of? Like whenever like especially like sort of rocky groups go to South Africa and then they start like contributing with like South African artists. That's what this sounds like to me. Like Mumford and Sons and like I can't remember what African group they were working with. They did put an album out and it's just like like I felt like it's exactly this. They always go a bit too far with what they're doing, and they don't really, I guess because there's something about people from the diaspora and like Africa, the links, like we know beats and we know how to put music together where it's not too much. But I feel like whenever other people kind of come in and like want to take stuff from it, like that Waka Waka whatever video from the Olympics, whatever, it just always sounds like a hot mess. Like they need, I think if you're gonna do something that's gonna take Afro beats, reggae, all these different things, like very black things, I think you need to have people in behind the scenes who know and who can put it together for you.
Right.
Because this, I don't even know what they're singing about. Like, it's just so loud to me.
Yeah.
Well, don't they look satisfied?
Well, I mean, they got over 100 million views in 24 hours. Like, they could literally release a video of like Jimin pooping in a cup, and it would get all of these, all of these views. So,
not to agree with you on that, but I think the general idea as far as them not caring, like I heard that argument that the big hit is kind of at the point now. It's like they realize that their fans are so dedicated and the fandom is so huge at this point that they literally could do anything.
Yeah,
I think so.
They're just like, well, let's just throw everything at the wall and do whatever. Like we don't even have to be fake deep anymore.
Right. I mean, honestly, I prefer fake deep to this. I mean, this, and the sad part is I know we'll get into it later, but sad part is the rest of this album is actually pretty dope. Like BTS for some reason has been doing that lately, where their title tracks are just like what is this? And then the rest of the album is kind of okay. And like in this case, like the rest of the album is actually pretty dope. Like it's not loud, it's not something they've done before, because I don't know if you guys got this vibe, but this sounded like Not Today to me. It sounded just like no, not today. Like it sounded just like that.
It kind of did. It had that same kind of vibe.
But the dance for Not Today saved that song too, right? Like the dance was pretty dope. So like that's it. But yeah, I think that they just have a propensity to like just be really loud for like some weird reason and to release these really loud tracks. I think I'm more insulted that I'd seen a lot of people like BTS fans who were like not really feeling the song, who were trying to compare it to like Bang 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 and like Fantastic Baby. And I was
What?
like, listen, you can actually hear what they're saying, first of all. Second of all, like they actually have like transitions, like in
Yeah.
the song.
It's
It's not,
so
A bridge
it's
and
so funny that you say
yeah,
that because they say that same like I really think that like point is interesting and maybe we can discuss it more like further later. But the idea of like having transitions, like a song that's actually kind of telling a story with how it's made or how it's composed,
yeah,
because it's what separates like stuff like this from other stuff that's could be considered noise that for example NCT makes. I love NCT,
yeah.
but they have some songs that's just no noise, but it has transitions. It's like it has a chill spot, and that's like Bang Bang Bang. Bang 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 is not all just like one steady thing. It just
No.
changes up on you like
And
that.
it builds till the end too, right? Like
Yeah,
the let's go, but like that's like the really, really hard part. And that's like the end. So it's not the whole song. And like the verses are pretty quiet, to be honest. So it's like
yeah,
in comparison, and even the chorus is like bang, 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 and it's just music.
right.
So there's no lyrics. It's
Exactly.
like it's so
Mhm.
weird to me that people are comparing it. And I'm like, I think a lot of like BTS and EXO too with like Power and like Coco Bot and stuff like that. They're trying to have their own version of Bang 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 in Future and Fantastic Baby because
Hmm.
those songs like I don't know if you watch like a lot of the award shows and things like that. Like those are the hype up songs at those award shows. Like every time Big Bang performs, those are the songs that they perform because that gets the crowd hype, it
Yeah.
gets them hype, and it's like good energy. It reminds me actually of like Western concerts in that sense because they're the only ones who are kind of like off script and like just kind of doing what they feel. And I
Yeah,
Yeah,
think a
they
lot of these
literally just do whatever during a
yeah.
exactly, but like
It helps that
but
like
like they
Guillaume
feed
has a
like
lot of charisma too, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But like the I think that's what like EXO and like BTS like that's what they were trying to do with those songs. But
hmm
because they're still so structured like with
yeah.
choreography and things like that, it's and because some of the songs are just like not that hype up,
Yeah,
it's
Coco Pop
like
was nowhere near Bang Bang Bang. I'm sorry. Like,
but it's
No.
not but like it's one of their like kind of like livest songs like with the
it is.
breakdown and everything like that. So like it is one of their
But
and
that's
like I
what
mean
makes
it's
it
reggae.
bad.
I would say though, Coco Bop, like the reggae theme or like that they had in it wasn't bad. Like, I mean, I've seen some terrible ones, especially from
Hmm.
Haha, who's the worst, but they they did a good job with Coco Bop. It
Coco
took me
Bop
a
was
while
good
to get
until
into.
the EDM breakdown, and then
Yes,
that's where
yes.
I actually. Fun fact: I actually went on my old Adobe Audition, and
Yeah.
I cut that part out of the song, and then like I downloaded the song and then cut that part out, and now I only listen to the part that I edited because I can't listen to that trash.
You're like, I
No,
just can't handle this
I
anymore.
can't.
you know what? That's honestly, I want a version of that song because the EDM breakdown is the worst part. It's
Yeah.
the worst part. And well, also Kai and those braids are also the worst part, but
The
that's also for a
dreadlocks.
different
They were
yeah,
supposed to be dreadlocks.
that's yeah,
Supposed to be.
that's the different conversation. So what are we gonna watch next? Because I think we'll probably be talking about
Well,
BTS for a while if we
Yeah.
stick to this.
we next have a girl group, and that
Yay.
is Idol, and they came back with Han.
Yeah. I
And
totally
Oh.
forgot
I
about this
think
song.
I'm officially calling them Cube's next 4 minute because I think they've kind of taken the crown here.
with
Okay.
with
They're
Han.
doing really well with Han.
Oh, but I mean, like, you mean the quality of the song?
No, well, in like their position as with the other girl groups.
Mm.
Like how like they've kind of come in and they're threatening Blackpink fans and they're doing well. People didn't expect them to.
This melody sounds like where what she's singing right now. It sounds just like that Justin Timberlake song where he says, "You said sexy something something, but sexy never left," or something like that. If you heard the song, you know what I'm talking about.
I
Um,
kind of I think I kind of remember it.
What?
You said "Sexy Never Left." Then
I thought that's what he said to Prince. Because Prince
that's the one
made
to
it.
Prince.
Oh, okay, but that wasn't a song, wasn't it? Just something he said.
No, that wasn't a song.
It was in a Timberlake song or something.
Oh, okay.
Not a Timberland song. That's what I meant.
"Sexy Back" is the only thing that comes to mind, to be honest. I think this song is kind of flat.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I really like the instrumental, and I think it does well, like, visually. Mm-hmm. But, like, when I see performances of it, I'm, like, kind of bored. Mm-hmm. That's just how I feel about this one.
I couldn't disagree more. I love it. I think I like, it's just so different. I mean, it took me a minute because it structurally is so different from most of the songs that we hear from girl groups.
Yeah.
But I think especially when they perform it, like, the group has a lot of stage charisma, and especially I like their performances because I was looking at their choreography the other day, and they do a lot of really intricate choreography. And I think that's why I'm really high on the group, because they're just doing a lot of stuff that I've been waiting for, like, other groups like Blackpink to do. And I think that's why I'm just really high on them right now. Mm-hmm. And I like the song. It's just, for me anyway, the different structure really does it for me. I do agree that it doesn't have a lot of really high, like, it doesn't peak very high. It doesn't have a huge climax or anything. But for some reason, I think the verses save it for me because they give it that oomph.
Really?
I would agree with that.
Actually, when I heard the teaser for this, I was really excited because if anybody knows me, they know I'm a thought for whistling. And I'm a bigger thought for, like, those, like, simple beat patterns. Like, if you listen to the beginning of Bad Boy, Red Velvet, or the beginning of Shiny or Go, or any of those types of songs, the beginning has like this. It's this, like, beat pattern. And I was like, this is gonna be next level. And when I heard it, it's good. It just fell a little flat for my expectations. Just like Idol, but not as bad as Idol. Sorry, G Idol.
You know what though? I feel like what I like, because we know there's so much visually that I love about this, like what's going on and like the dance moves sort of matching the melody and the whistling and things like that. But I also really like that it's not like a summer theme song, because there's so many songs that were like, "Woo, we're about summer, yeah," and I'm just like, yeah, we get it. Like, you know, Sister's gone, and you guys are trying to be like the queens of summer, and I'm kind of over it, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think this is great because this actually will transition really well into fall. And I think maybe like when I'm in more of a fall mood, I might like try to get back into it and see how I feel about it. Because I feel like it works better in fall than it actually does in summer. Mm-hmm. And like maybe the change in temperature, the change in moods, you know, like even just the aesthetics will probably help it. Because I mean, it does also
all of that for you to get to the song.
Sometimes a nice walk on a fall day with some leaves blowing in the wind, you know, it allows you to really connect to the music.
Well, I'll say this: Han is a dope name for a song. I just love that song title. That is so legendary.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, about the group, or
I'm excited about the group. I'm excited about, like, I will say, because I know you said they're like 4-minute, but like 4-minute to me didn't really drop very good music in the beginning. I kind of like them more towards the end. I mean, like Hot Issue,
better toward
like Hot Issue is like a classic. So I think that's more the reason that I'll sing along to it when I hear it. Then it's actually a good song, and like you know, so like music and like all the other stuff, like. I feel like it maybe around like What's Your Name is like kind of where they started like really like consistently dropping good music till the end. Mm-hmm. So I feel like like with Idol or G Silent Idol, like I feel like they are sort of getting it a lot earlier. Maybe it's because Soyeon, I think, is the rapper girl. She's the leader as well. She's like more hands-on with the music.
Yeah, she like writes and
Wait, okay, the G is silent?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, that's so dumb. What? That's so.
Yeah, it's Silent G Idol.
It stands for
Wow.
girls
Yeah.
something something idol.
Because
I
I
don't
know,
know.
like, so yeah, I know, like, when you pronounce it out or whatever, but what the? That is. Okay, you know what? Do you? Do you? I'll still call you G Idol because, I'm a rebel, so.
Yes.
Uh,
But yeah, like I'm excited to see what they have because I feel like they're far from peak. So if
yeah.
and they have Cube. Cube, is known for allowing their artists to sort of come in and contribute to the music, but they're also known for doing good music like from time to time. So I mean, I'm kind of excited to see what they bring.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get some rest and maybe do some touring and some like shows and come back next year even stronger.
Most
Oh, you
excited
know
for
they're coming
them to
back
come
in
back.
like 2 months.
Let these children sleep.
By then it'll be autumn, and she can't listen to this song anymore.
They'll have another song. They'll have even more fall,
Oh.
autumn-esque song for you. Okay, so that was Silent G Idol.
Yes.
Now we have the real summer queen, Hyolyn,
Yay.
with Bay.
Mm.
Which is basically just a sister song. Like I feel like
Yeah,
it's the most sister that she's done since she branched out on her own. I love it. I love seeing so many people of color just like in this video, dancing around, having a good time. She's enjoying herself. She's enjoying life.
Not gonna lie, I was a little confused when you said people of color, and then I remembered.
Yeah. I wanted to broaden it because there's lots of people of color in this video.
Yeah.
Not just the Asians and like the white person from here to here.
yeah. I think this song is actually finally like the one of Hyolyn's that's doing well on the charts, which,
It's a
like
sister
you
song.
guys
That's why.
said, it's a sister.
And all the body types. What? Like
Yeah.
she's doing so well. Like I love her.
Yeah, I saw something on Netizen Buzz or something, of course, about how she and her dance crew were like in the restaurant and they were being kind of not obnoxiously loud, like they were kind of like cheering and like,
Yeah.
having the girls' night out, and people were like, there had been some sort of news story about Helen like getting in trouble with her neighbors for being too loud or something like that, like having parties or something. And people were like, well, no wonder she's so arrogant. Of course, she would be loud in a restaurant or something, people
Right.
just being their regular self. But honestly, I think Helen is just living her best life.
Of course.
I would rather be in her position than be in like Red Velvet's.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh.
I've been waiting for like 30 seconds to say this, but did you guys notice the root beer float at the beginning was
Yes.
so fake? It was
Yes.
Yeah.
it just had me cracking
It was
up when I
like
saw it.
made like with Play-Doh or something. It's very but honestly, the first time I watched this video, I was like smiling the whole time. Like that's what sister music does to me though. Like I love them so much. They're just so like happy, fun, like girls on top kind of music. I love it. I'm happy too that it's doing well on the charts because like I know like obviously the superior songs Dali and CC are and even To Do List, which I really did enjoy, are not Korea's sort of idea of music. So I guess once in a while she'll have to like do one of these and like a couple OSTs to make, her rent or whatever. And then she kind of just like comes back with she just finances the other videos that she likes to do.
Well, I like the fact that it's a sister song, but the video is so like modern and like you said, there's like so many different people of like color and sizes, and it's really weird to see non-Asians dancing to a K-pop song. Like I was just staring at it for a few minutes because I was like, this black guy is dancing to like a Sistar song right now.
Yeah, you know what? It's really interesting that you say that because I find that it's really weird to me when I see anyone that's not white in a K-pop music video.
Yes.
Now that might sound really weird, but like just consider like a lot of times when they like have these huge casts, the cast for whatever reason is white, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys have ever been to Korea, but there's not very many white people there. It's just really funny to me, and it's part of the reason, for example, like when Taemin did move with his all like his girl squad, and like they're all like Asian. It was like just really different to me compared to like, especially the fact that he just did Flame of Love right before that, and it was with a white lead, which was just like, I don't know, Taemin. I don't know if you remember, but you're Asian, so.
I think it's because when they usually get models and actresses, I think a lot of the models and actresses that they tend to get over there in Korea are the ones that they tend to hire or like to hire. Or I know they tend to hire a lot of Russian models, and they do like to hire white. I think for them, if they think we want a foreigner in this video, they're usually going to default to white in any case.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that's the general thought there.
Whereas, it's kind of sad because we in this household we stand our Southeast Asian idols. They're also foreign. They're you know what I mean. And I feel like sometimes Korean, let me not generalize, but Korean, these people who head the companies and things like that and make all these types of decisions, I think they forget that foreign in this context, I get when they say foreign, they mean like not Asian, right? But a Filipino person looks completely different from a Korean person, but they're still Asian. You know what I mean? Like it's like you can still have a diversity, but like don't be afraid of Southeast Asians, especially when the Thai idols and the idols who are not like, you know what I'm saying, that don't match the Korean beauty standard are popping really. Like I think Lisa is like the most popular member of Blackpink, for example, or Lucas from NCT, like 10 from NCT. They're like the most poppin' members for a reason. Let them have shine. Let Southeast Asians also have shine, and stop pretending like they don't exist. And that if you have to get a foreigner, it must be a white person.
Yeah, I mean, there's been issues. I mean, there's been documented issues of that kind of their attitude towards Southeast Asians and how it's not really favorable. So yeah, I agree with what you said.
I mean, how could you even be surprised? Like I was reading this thing about like Sooyoung from Girls' Generation, and like they insult her by saying she looks like a Southeast Asian, and it's like,
really,
how is that even an insult? Like you guys are constantly going to Thailand and like
they're your biggest
Indonesia and those places, like and they are huge markets. That's where you make money. Why are you so discriminatory against like other Asians? It's so crazy. But I think that's why like I like the direction that Hyolyn is going with, sort of just embracing, like if you're about music and you're about dancing and about enjoying yourself, she's with it, and like it's the first time I saw the video, I was like, oh, I love the song. Obviously, it's a Sistar song, but I just love looking at it. Like it was so strange because it is different seeing, people who look like you in that world.
I do want to mention, though, I want to ask a question. Have you guys seen Every Day by Winner?
Yes.
I saw like the teaser clips. I think that's what they were, teasers.
Every
day. Do you feel the same way watching a video like that you feel watching like Hyolyn's video, or is it different?
Because the girls in Winner's video were handpicked for things that they consider, even like especially in the Black community, to be better. So like light skinned and like specific type of hair. Like Hyolyn's video, like And then they had like these Asian girls with braids, and it was like a hot mess because you could tell it was like what's trendy and what's
Yeah, they
Like,
were
what's
objects
favorable.
basically.
Yeah, like racially ambiguous girls, like what's favorable in that sense,
Right.
versus Hyolyn's, which is like these are like real full body girls, you know, like who are not like on the Korean diet or the Korean idol diet, you know, and like who are so stunning and like they look like they're having the time of their lives and like they're all just in it to enjoy themselves. Whereas Winner, I think Winner, especially since they last Nam, is it Taeyoon or Taehyun or something like that? Ever since they lost to that guy, I feel like they've just been like, oh, we're gonna be as trendy as possible.
Yeah,
And
pretty much. They've just been following trends.
yeah, they're not like there's no substance to anything they've done since then.
Really, you could apply that to a lot of
No,
these
it's true.
groups.
It's true. But like
Yeah.
I think Winner before that, they were fun, but I think like they had like a bit more.
They did because, like you
I
said,
think they had something to
Personality.
that
say.
other guy was writing a
Yeah.
lot of their
Yeah,
music,
that's what
and
I
it had a
heard.
different vibe to it. And
Well, I
since
mean, oh, sorry to
no,
cut
go
you.
ahead.
No, sorry. I was like say like Bobby and Bi from Icon also wrote for Winner as well, but I felt like they all like had something to say, like in
Mm.
the time. Taehyun, that's his name, right? I feel like him especially had something to say, especially with what he was going through, you know, internally and stuff like that, and it sort of reflected in their music, and there was like emotions. Now it's just like, you know, Western dance moves and like, you know, the haircut, the look. I think it's really shallow. I think their music is so shallow these days.
I think it's interesting, to talk about that in juxtaposition with Hyolyn because I think what it is that she comes off as authentic. Like every time I see her, like I just feel like she's very unapologetic about who she is and
Yes.
what she wants to do musically. Whereas I don't, when it comes to some of these other groups who, I guess try to put diversity in their video, it just comes off as forced sometimes. Not every
Yeah.
time, but it just comes off as like you said, we're doing this because it's a trend. Whereas Hilden, it just honestly to me, it just looks like those are her girls. Like
Yeah.
they just look like they actually hang out and they're friends, and like she likes these people. So
She brought them on music shows. Like, when do you ever see that? Like,
Yeah,
even Winner, like they had these girls in their videos, but on the shows it's always Asian people. Like it's always
yeah,
Korean
yeah,
dancers that they have on stage. Whereas Hyolyn, like, and you know, like when you go on a music show, you foot the cost. So she paid to be there, have everybody styled. I mean, I think Adidas was sponsoring CC, like the outfits they were wearing, because they were wearing a lot of Adidas in it. But like, you know, took she paid her own money to have, you know, her crew on there and for them to all have a good time. So I
yeah,
mean, it does, she always comes across as authentic. Like she doesn't do things that she doesn't want to do in the same way. And I'm like, obviously, like she's not perfect. We don't really talk about her stint as a rapper because, you know, it was the dark ages. But she's she's like, there's so many horror stories about idols and like what it's like to be an idol. And Hyolyn just looks like, you know, like she's come out of it much better, much stronger than ever before. So I'm excited to see what else she has. I hope she drops some more music this year.
yeah. I
as an
think
aside, is she the one that people were saying dated Jay Park? Okay, no, just ignore
I
me.
don't think so. I
Ignore
don't
me.
know. I mean, the only person I know who like that likely dated Jay Park was
Oh hell no.
Hyuna. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
okay.
I'm a
Yeah, I
hot
never
mess.
heard that rumor. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so that was healing with Bay. So I always have to have one random one in here. So our next one is In Fact
Sure.
with Na Na Na.
I
Oh,
heard that they actually impressed everyone at KCON, so I'm excited to see this.
really? I heard
Yeah.
Stray Kids impressed.
Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, look, they have their names at the bottom. Yay. I hope that's the order
Oh.
they're in, because I don't know who any of these people are. Okay.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
No comment. Okay.
It's a nice and relaxing video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reminds me of CK a little bit.
I like this guy's voice.
Yeah, me too. Huh. Oh.
Okay, so we're showing abs already. Oh. I bet you have to work up to that, you know, like.
Gotta sell those photo cards.
I don't need this build up. Oh, ew.
That
Okay.
is not what I was expecting either.
Yeah,
What?
you weren't expecting that.
Girl,
I
that's
like it.
tiny influence. I'm here for it.
I like it.
This is
Okay.
cute. He looked like Mingyu from 17. Okay, I haven't liked a song from a like non-big boy group in a minute, so this is pleasant.
Yeah. Because you guys were talking about before BTS sounding like noise. A lot of boy groups sound like noise to me nowadays.
Yeah, they do.
So it's nice to actually have like a melody and verses and you know.
Oh, and this guy actually knows how to flow. Yeah, great.
Yeah, Nat, have you actually heard Pentagon Shine yet?
You know, I think I have.
You
I'm kind of
have heard it and maybe just not have
Yeah.
realized it.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I think so. You know what though? I did realize that I did like a Pentagon song. Not Shine. It was the one that was like kind of like a throwback. Let me see if I can pull it up here. So I'm actually just really feeling the song that's on right now.
Me too. Yeah.
Like this. I like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Nope.
No.
Don't know.
Okay.
Oh, and Can You Feel It? I liked Can You Feel It too. But I don't really recall listening to any of these other songs, so.
That sounds like it might have been ripped off of another song, but I don't know why. It just gives me those vibes. This video is perfect. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like the whole thing is just very smooth and
Yeah. I love this like ending transition. Like I thought it was gonna be like a chorus or something, you know, and it's just like everybody's kind of like chilling. Like they're in a car just singing and somebody recorded it, you know?
Yeah. It reminds me oddly of NCT's song Sun and Moon, which is another chill bop that you guys have to look into. Can one of you guys buy this for me on iTunes? I hope they reimburse you.
what?
I refuse to give them coins, but somebody else can buy it for me. I love that song. That was dope.
Yeah, that was good.
No, I actually really liked it. Yeah, I'm gonna like look into this, learn some names. I don't really, you know, get into boy groups as much, but I did like this as an intro to this group, Impact. So,
Google's problematic moments.
yeah.
We're ready to be disappointed. But no, it was a great song.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll see them rise up since they did so well at KCON. Got some new fans coming up.
Yeah.
Hopefully they take Icon's spot.
You aren't feeling Killing Me or whatever it is.
I'm not here for that. I'm pretty much not really here for Icon, but that's another story.
You know what? I wasn't either, but Icon has like I feel like with Winter as Winter sort of crashes into the ground, Icon is rising. Like I don't know if it's like only one can succeed at the same time. Like, it's really strange.
You know,
But
that is strange because I feel like I'm so happy you say that. Why
Yeah.
is it that the case with like YG groups, like only one can be on top?
Because
Like,
he's horrible at managing his groups.
good
He
point.
doesn't
Yeah.
know how to multitask.
He'd
doesn't
prefer
care
to
to.
pursue lawsuits over $9,000.
Yeah.
He's just looking for his next big bang, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And he wanted
Still-
Icon to be it in the first place anyway.
Yeah,
I just
he
don't
never
think
really
he'll
believed in
replace that
winner.
magic.
Mm.
Big Bang just like has it, just like as you know, their personas, their idol personas, and I honestly don't see it for Icon in the same way. For
Oh yeah, I
that
don't
I
either.
do for Big
I don't
Bang.
either. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, he's
Yeah.
still looking for that formula to make that next huge group. And I think, like, Bobby and Bi and all of that, he was like, oh yeah, that's the formula, and you know.
Is YG a one-hit wonder? Okay, never mind. That's going too far. That's
Like the guy, like when he was sort
no.
of an idol,
I'm talking about like YG Entertainment. Is YG a one-hit wonder? Is Big
Oh.
Bang? Because with SM, I can particularly be like, okay, Shiny had a period, EXO had a period, even for whatever reason, Suju had a period. TVXQ is making $98 million in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
all of their groups like have something to cling on to. Whereas I feel like for YG, you can mostly say that about Big Bang and maybe what 21.
Yeah.
Well, no, Icon's making money because they were like he shipped them off to Japan for like a year or two, and they were like touring like big over there, and they were like selling out concerts in Japan and stuff. So
and Love Scenario is basically their period right now.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Korea, they love that freaking song. Like,
yeah.
Now, whether they'll have another song that big, remains to be seen.
Yeah. Well, Killing Me is not as big as Love Scenario for sure. Yeah, I mean it's not the same caliber of song, obviously. But like last year was Winner, it was really, really. This year it's Love Scenario, and Blackpink is growing. I mean, like they're already touring pretty well in Japan. So
I would say at this point, Blackpink is more popular with the public than Icon and
Blackpink seems to be their best bet. And you know, this is something I know is really contentious, but I think Blackpink is YG's best bet right now. Personally.
No, I agree.
I do too.
I would agree.
Like,
that's why I took a photo with them recently. Did you guys see that?
I saw. It's like, yeah, because they're making money. So
I was like, oh, now all of a sudden you want to be seen with them? Okay.
Yeah, he knows they exist because he's taking pictures with them. So it's, yeah. You know what? One day we should have a discussion about just like stan culture for companies.
Oh,
because I think SME does a very good job in building long-lasting support, where YG I don't think does as well in that regard, which is why Winner, Icon can be on, one has to be on top, another's not really on top, and there's a lot of infighting. You don't see Shiny fans fighting Suji fans. You know, like you don't see Girls' Generation fans fighting with Red Velvet fans. Like these are things that don't happen, but like in YG, because he clearly plays favorites.
Yeah.
There's always like sort of fighting between the fans, and that's why like when they had their YG family tour, I was surprised. I was like, I'm surprised fights are not breaking out in like the crowd because like that's just like the way that it seems to be with the fandoms for like YG groups. So yeah. We'll see.
All right. Well, our next one is a special edition. This is a J-pop video, but it is a K-pop group. So this is Twice with BDZ, and I picked it because the video is insane. And what happened was Twice came out with their concept photos for this song, and it's actually kind of girl crushy. Like you'll see their outfits and stuff for the video are actually way edgier than anything they've worn in Korea. And so people were thinking, they're being misdirected into thinking, oh, they're going to do their girl crush period in Japan. And that's not what happened. So let's
Because
watch
I
Be
definitely
Easy.
thought this was gonna be their go. Like, you know, NCT Dream had a go. I thought this would be their go. I was
Hmm.
very off track.
I think I've
So
seen this video. I think I saw it in like a Mona when it dropped.
See, this
It
is
was
so
very strange.
like refreshing to me. Like, I think this is dope. Like the beginning of the video.
yeah, I was like, are we gonna have some sort of like interesting storyline? And of
Right.
course, it just kind of went to hell from like there. But you know, it was actually kind of had my attention for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like,
this
are
will
we?
have you really believing like it's about to go down.
Yeah. End of world shenanigans.
She looks cute, whoever she is.
Santa.
Or is that Mina?
No, it looks like Santa. No? That's Santa.
Oh yeah.
God, she looks so young though. Like a baby.
I mean, I guess there's one thing to be said about Twice. At least all of them are of age.
Do you see the Target?
Now
I
they
thought
are.
that was a Target logo, to be honest. I was like, why is there a Target logo on the back?
I like how they just stuck Jung Young in the van for the entire video.
Is she hurt or something? I was wondering that actually. Like, is something wrong with her? Maybe she was tired and they're just like, you can just be in the van then. They probably fought over that role. They're so tired.
What
It's
in
like,
the
how do we
red
get rid
velvet
of
power
global
up?
terrorism, war, and poverty? Oh, I know.
Jesus.
You know, I kind of liked it, like the song, but I was kind of also very confused about what was going on in the video. So.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those through the power of cuteness and love Twice
Yeah.
can get rid of
Emphasis on cuteness.
and
Yeah.
crime and all the bad things in the world, which is so after school special. I mean, these guys have like AKs and they're like doing like Scooby Doo shenanigans. Like, we're just gonna like put
It is kind of
like,
funny. It's like some Home Alone stuff. Like, these guys have AK-47s but can't walk downstairs.
I think too, you will kind of have to buy into like the cute and quirkiness of Twice. I think to like kind of not roll your eyes 100 or 500 times while watching this music video.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. That's their brand, and
yeah,
in Japan, they are even cutesier in general, if that's possible. But it's just so at odds with like what they're the concept that they're doing here that it's just weird.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I actually don't hate the song. Obviously, I would never listen to it, but it's like not
Like,
a
this
bad
guy points
song.
a gun at her.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And she's all like, "Oh, but I'm so cute," and he's like, "I'm going to shoot your brains out."
Yep, right in the face. Right in the face.
Unlike, on that same note, what is with Korea's obsession with guns? Like,
they're really
I guess
gun
since
crazy.
you don't have them, then you know,
it's like a fascination.
yeah.
Because Taemin literally, like in the "Tell Me What to Do" video, he literally just points a gun at I think Minho, like out of nowhere at a party.
I remember that. Weren't they like fighting over a girl or some shit like that? Like,
but
was
he's got
that
a
the
huge
video?
smile on his face.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like Minho was with this girl and he was like jealous of her, of their relationship, and that's why like he pulls out this gun. Yep. It's little heart animated
This is
things.
so cute. Those little hearts were cute. I
just thought that
I
was
hate
like maybe a
myself for thinking
Japanese
that.
thing. Like maybe like that's like it's a Japanese thing. You have to be Japanese to really get what's going on here with these little Teletubbies.
That chair looks like
Maybe.
a. I've
So
seen it
now they're
before.
gonna just be like, we've got to get these cute like girls and just like we're
Murder 'em.
shooting you down, we're murdering you.
Why? Just why?
And Twice is like, oh no, we're trapped. They're not
They
like
didn't even
screaming
try
and
to run out
crying
though.
like anybody would be in that situation.
And then
Those
they
little
hold
bunny things
hands
gonna protect them.
for their last stand.
Those very real cinder blocks.
Yes, yes. Because I mean, the stretch alone just emphasizes how real they are.
I love it.
But they give her time to walk up to the group, though.
Yeah.
And then they pose. They pose.
Like, guess what? We're not afraid of your guns. This is like the Care Bear version. Like, we're gonna give you our love and heart and
Honestly, I think they would do like if Twice had a show like on Nick Jr.
Oh, that would be adorable. Yeah. Like
they
S
were
Club
on
7.
Ellen or something like recently, or I don't know, something like that.
That struggle dancing at the end.
Always.
Well, you know,
dancing better.
K-pop dancers, like, they cannot freestyle.
No.
Yeah, but your whole thing about them having like a kids show or whatever, yeah, I mean, they might as well. I mean, that's totally, other than the uncle fans, that's totally their like
demographic.
Yeah.
Honestly, the uncle fans might watch it anyway, though, because they like the My Little Pony and stuff like that. Well, those types of guys, yeah. Anyway, back to the conversation at hand.
Oh, well, I don't know if you guys have anything else to say about that. I just had to add it because I saw it and I was just like, what did I just watch? So,
Still better than Idol.
It was that bad.
Nat is like, I can't agree with you there.
I like Twice. So I mean, I'm gonna be partial. Though they haven't had like their best song to date for me is probably either gonna be Likey or Signal. So I'm just like, it is what it is at this point. They're cute.
Is it weird that I know their point dances more than their songs? Because Twice has like a lot of fans, and for some reason their fans do their dances a lot.
Yeah, no, they're so much fun.
Like a huge part of their appeal is they've got,
like the Likey dance. Oh my god, that is like my favorite, my favorite dances, and it's so catchy. It's as catchy as the lyrics of the song. Like it's crazy, but I mean the Cherub dance and the TT dance, those were like really huge too, right, in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually I've never thought about it in that way, but that might make me even like the songs better sometimes. So yeah.
Honestly, I just can't get over the fact that Taemin was about to shoot Minho. I'm sorry, like with all the guns, it's just like blowing my mind. Everything is just overwhelming right now. There's just too many things to think about.
Yeah, I remember watching that video and just being like, why is Taemin so depressed this whole time? And then he like pulls out the gun and I was like, oh, okay, sure. That's what's happening right now. Not in the face, just not in the face. That's his moneymaker.
Yeah, that obviously escalated way over what needed to be. I mean, wow.
Yes.
Okay, well, that was our videos. So now we're going to get ready to do our podcast. If I can get this document to...
Can I get about like 120 seconds?
Yeah, you can get more than that if you need it.
Yeah, exactly.
And my air conditioning on.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'll be right back.
I'm like actually just reading the
okay.
K-pop link.
Oh, okay,
about
yeah, yeah.
like
The link that I put in the chat. Yeah, read that.
yeah.
That's the tea that I was talking about.
Uh-huh. I'm like not cool with the fact that they asked about Irene and Crystal.
Can you guys
Like
hear me?
Chris, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Like
Listen.
I just don't get why like they're asking about Irene and Crystal. Like Crystal's not bothering anybody, okay? Like Kidnet's always like want to put her down for no reason.
Who?
Cause she
Crystal?
does, yeah, from like FX, Crystal Jung.
Yeah.
Cause she doesn't
Yeah.
like smile a lot, so like they're always like trying to attack her. I'm like, what the hell? Crystal didn't do anything. Like leave her alone.
It was her
Thankfully, he didn't say
job.
anything
I
on it.
mean, she doesn't have
Yeah,
to
no.
always be in a good mood about it.
Is Crystal really talented? Like, is she like
She's
Mm,
okay.
okay?
yeah, she's actually still like one of the stronger singers in FX,
FX.
and like she's a
Is
decent
it?
actress. I haven't seen her in anything that's like blown me away, but
I'm
she's just
like,
like really pretty. So I think that's her thing,
huh?
her look, right?
Hmm.
Well, she's growing her hair back out because she had this like shortcut going on for a while that was
Yeah.
not flattering at all.
Because I only know
No.
her from the Kai Taeyeon Baekhyun
Uh,
situation. So like I never actually, and also Amber Liu kind of is irritating to me. So
yeah, Amber does a lot. Like I really like Amber because she's another one who seems like she has like her heart in the like a really good place. She's just like
Yeah.
she's just frustrated because they're not promoting and like she's not doing anything and she's not popular enough, I think, in Korea to really like be able to pop off in a career. So she's just like always just really frustrated about like not getting to perform and sing and whatever. Same with
uh-huh.
Luna though. Like Luna's like I think she's just also just out here trying to make music and SM's not giving them anything. So they're just trying to make lanes for themselves now.
Yeah,
I
SM is
think they said
trash.
Luna was coming out with something else, but you know, believe it
Mm,
when I see it.
yeah, exactly,
Right.
exactly. I'm waiting for FX. I didn't want like I mean the whole China thing doesn't seem like it's a problem anymore, so I don't know why like they wouldn't be able to sort of get together.
Although
But
I kind of think Victoria's pieced out because she's like doing so much stuff in China now. I think she's just kind of like whatever.
I don't know.
I mean, she's like full on acting and just she's got her own like career going on at the moment.
I've
Okay, it's
seen them
really
interact. Sorry?
so no, sorry, go ahead, go ahead. I'm not saying
Oh,
anything.
oh no. I was like, I don't know, like I've seen them interact. It actually seems like they really do genuinely like each other. So I think that they would like they still do want to get together. And well, Crystal said in an interview like a couple months ago too that like they're just really busy, even though she really just met her and Victoria are really busy. And that's why but they're always like looking at songs and like they're trying to think of what to do for their next comeback. So I'm hoping, like, I'm really like hoping that they get their shit together. Only just to see them like back at SM Town and like to see if Crystal ever does like the ending of SM Town when all the groups come together. Because she skipped it since her sister got kicked out of Girls' Generation. It's like
I don't want to see her
yeah.
do it then. I kind of want to see her
I kind of like
keep
I mean
skipping it.
only if she's ready, obviously. But like, I'm kind of interested to see how like the interactions are because they were all really friendly, and now they're not at all. And also because she dated Kai for a bit, and I just like the drama. I'm sorry, I
I
really
love
just like the
drama.
drama. So,
Okay, I really thought that it was I really thought that he said something about Yuri, but I guess the lazy comment was towards Irene.
oh, okay. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, Yuri, there's tons of comments about Yuri, so you don't really
Oh
need another
yeah.
one.
It's like
Yeah,
open season on her right now, and literally
Yeah.
everybody thinks she's only in Red Velvet because she's rich or something like that.
Like,
It
I
makes
kind
are
of do
they
feel sorry for.
wrong?
I kind of feel sorry for Yuri though. Well, I'll save it, but I
Yeah.
kind of do feel sorry for her because she's gotten it since she's first joined the group. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel like she's gotten to the point where she's just like, I don't give a F, and
right.
just you can only get beat down on for so long before you just kind of say screw it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so any questions about the topics that we're covering?
Nope. I
Nope.
think we're good.
I might skip around a bit depending on how long we end up going.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's see here. All right. So you guys ready?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'll do a 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Netizens. This is Ash, and I am currently looking for 2 tickets to the BTS Love Yourself concert in either Newark, New Jersey or New York. So if anybody has any information on that, you know where to contact me. And I also have 2 other people here today, the lovely Jimin
Hello.
and Nat.
Hey.
And we're here to talk about all the news and interesting stuff that's been going on in K-pop this past couple of weeks. And we've got quite a lot to discuss, so I'll just dive on in. With let's start with Silent G Idol. So they have released their new single, Han, and it's been doing pretty well on the charts. I think the last time I checked on the Insta's real time charts, the song was at like number 11 or number 10. It was kind of like going in and out between number 10 or 11, which is like really good for a rookie group. And their performances have been getting a lot of attention. And, you know, I mentioned this on our music video commentary, but I really think that Idol is kind of coming in is this generation of idols they're kind of analogous to 4 Minute in a sense, I think, not in style or anything like that, but just in how they're kind of like how 4 Minute was kind of a foil to 2NE1. We've got Idol is kind of the foil to Blackpink. They're both from Cube. They're both rookies. Were kind of not really expected to do as well as they've done. Although I do think that Idol is doing way better than 4 Minute did initially. And I'm just interested to see what they do next. They've really they're kind of establishing a really interesting niche for themselves. But first, I want to hear what you guys are thinking about Idol and Han. How that song has impressed you or not impressed you, or just like their general like status right now as idols.
Well, I liked it. Obviously the whistling part is very catchy and it sort of sticks in your brain. And I love looking at the video. It's just so the aesthetic is just so it matches sort of that whistling tune and like the sort of Middle Eastern Aladdin kind of feel. And the girls look great. The dancing is has sort of taken on some of those movements as well too. So I mean, I like it when people have a concept and they sort of fall in line with it without going too overboard. And I think there's a really good balance there. I didn't think the song was as strong as La Tata, but I don't think it's a terrible song. As I was saying in like when we were watching the video, like I feel like it's not a summer song. I think it's more of like a cooler, chill autumn song. So I'm gonna sort of try it out as the season change and see how I feel about that. For me, I prefer like hyper songs in the summer. I don't know. It's like it's hot. You know, you're moving around a lot, driving around in cars with the windows down. Like, I just feel like you kind of like, I like it when everything kind of comes together. So I'm gonna wait and see if the song does get better for me, but who knows at this point. Yeah.
I mean, for me, to be honest, I don't really remember La Ta 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 Da La Ta Ta. I don't remember it very well. I remember I was like, at the moment, I think that I liked it. But I honestly really could not even tell you how it goes. Han was not what I expected it to be. It was still pretty good. But in terms of just like G Idol in
You
general,
are not going to accept that silent G.
I was like, what kind of concept is this? Like, it's, what? I just can't even. I can't even like put into words how I feel about that. But in terms of them as a group, like I'm actually really excited about them in the same way I'm excited about Luna, which I'm more so a boy group person. But I'm really like starting to get into different girl groups, so I'm excited about them in Luna and where they can go. Um, I really am interested to see if they can pull off great success. I mean, already I feel like they have really good reputation in the general public.
Mhm.
And I really only see it going up from here unless they get into a Hannah level scandal. I said I wasn't gonna call that a scandal unless they get into some shenanigans that it could be career ending for lesser idols. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. It's the direction is interesting. They're interesting. They're talented. Very different from like what has been out recently with like Twice and Red Velvet and those other groups that I really don't care about. Like, oh, Mama Move. I forgot. I really forgot their
Yeah,
music for
sure
a
you
minute.
did.
I'm dead
It,
serious.
it,
I couldn't name Mama Moo, but like all the names are going through my head. But that was the one I was thinking of, and I was like, oh, okay, that's their name. Um, but yeah, so yeah, especially with Twice's dominance and seeing how they're basically like outperforming SNSD at their highest point. Um, it's really interesting. Going to be interesting to see how that landscape plays out between all the groups that are popping.
Yep.
yeah, I just find them refreshing, and Soyeon is she's a beast. I mean, she goes out there and she's not as charismatic as CL, but she tries. And honestly, I think that the whole group in general is pretty charismatic, which is a refreshing thing. Because I feel like with so many of the younger groups nowadays, they come out and they either look bored or they're just kind of blank. And I guess they've done like their songs and their dances so many times that it's just like robotic and they just have no feeling or emotion behind them. So it's nice to see another group that kind of looks like they're into performing what they're doing and actually enjoys being up on stage. So yeah, I hope Idol continues their upward trajectory, and I'll be watching, where they go from here. Another girl group that made their official debut um, this past week was Luna with their debut mini album Plus Plus, and they came out with their single Hi Hi, and it was a little. If you've been following all of the singles that their subunits have been putting out, it was a little different than some of what they've done. Some of the responses that I read online were there's a little bit of disappointment over, I guess, how kind of traditionally cutesy it was. Although I felt, as far as cutesy songs go, it was definitely more on the tolerable side. I didn't hate it. And for a debut song, I can understand why they would decide to play it safe. They also, I mean, we can't forget they also have Favorite, which they also promoted alongside Hi Hi, which is a little different, a lot more girl crushy. And um, I think it was a good start for them. I think the biggest thing that they have going against them right now is their fandom, because their
Hmm.
fandom is getting a bit of a bad reputation, and there was a lot of people that had unrealistic expectations, I think, of Luna, as far as them coming out and how well they were going to do, because of all the money and time and all the promotion that's gone into them. But I mean, you have to remember they're still a new group from an unknown company. So
Hmm.
Yep.
I mean, they should have led with another track on the album, but they played it safe, which was smart. In the long run, I think it'll prove to be like a good decision.
yeah, yeah. I mean, considering, I mean, we have to still think this is Korea here, and this is Korea that is, eating up Power Up as opposed to Bad Boy. So, you know, we've seen before what they tend to like. So, I think they were just trying to, you know, give fans what they want with the other tracks on the mini album, but also, give the public what they want with Hi Hi. So, but I didn't, like I said, I didn't hate the song. I didn't think it was bad as far as a cutesy track. And I think I saw a couple of their performances, and uh, they gave it good energy, and it was nice. It was fun. It was cute.
Yeah. They're cute. They're cute. I mean, I love Luna. I mean, they're cute. I'm happy that like it's weird because usually I do prefer when people are not lip singing at these shows, but I have I don't think that they're really mic ready at this time or juncture, so I get it. And I like it. I don't really I think I've grown into the cute concept is really what it is. So like with the trend now for a lot of these new groups to be very like cutesy, like Oh My Girl and like G Friend and A Pink, so I think I've kind of grown into a fan of this type of music because like 5 years ago I would have probably hated the song. But I like it. As Jimin said, it's safe. It is very, very safe. And in Korea, safe does well. It does much better than adventurous. And I think that because of what they've been doing, they've slowly grown not just a Korean fan base, but an international fan base. And I think that's why they dropped Favorite first, and then they came up with Hi Hi afterwards, as their official debut because they wanted to say like maybe they're trying to make a statement like, we haven't forgotten about Korea. This is where we live. This is where, our market is. So, and I think Favorite was more of a gift to like international fans who want to be like, oh, Slay T, all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that's kind of how I read the whole situation. I like Hi Hi. It's not the best song on the mini. It's not even the best out of like all of their solos and like their subunits, but it's solid. It's a solid track. It's good music, and I'm hoping that they do come out with something later
Yeah.
that I think is bridges all the different concepts much better.
I actually have a comment on that.
Yeah.
Like Hi Korea, we still remember you. I'll probably actually it'll probably fit more later, but
Okay.
it is just like interesting to hear that because I feel like something tells me if, for example, you had a group like Luna who, they weren't Korean natives, let's say they weren't in K-pop, but they came over to Korea and they put out like a song like Stylish or something like that. I
Hmm.
really feel like they would pop off. For some reason, like you said, playing it safe works in Korea, but for some reason, for foreigners, it's like really different. I noticed like foreign celebrities and artists, they can pull off like, they can go to Korea and not do cutesy, not, be the antithesis of that, and Korea will eat it up. And so it makes you wonder, like, is this like a thing that's, we expect our own, you know
I
celebrities to be this
absolutely
way?
think it's absolutely think it's it's like an expectation of, like, they have completely different expectations of their own people, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
mean, Korea is a very nationalistic country. They're very homogenous. I mean, for them to look at, other Koreans, there's completely different expectations there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, I've read comments, again, just to be transparent, obviously, on like Nez and Buzz and Panchoa and these places. But when you see certain idols like Hyolyn or Hyuna that may do more sexy or more adventurous R&B type of tracks, they instantly, it's not unusual to see a comment saying, oh, they're trying to be more Western or be more American, and why are they doing that sort of thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
CL's gotten those type of comments before too.
Yep.
So I do think there's an expectation there with people that are Korean to
Mm-hmm.
kind of fit a certain mold.
Right.
Yep. And though like the songs that I normally see from Western artists that do well are still kind of safe songs. Like they love Ed Sheeran out there,
Yes,
Maroon 5.
love
Like
him. They love
Havana's
Yes,
doing really
yes,
Havana.
big
well.
They
role
love
player,
Havana.
huge
That's
there.
the
Yeah,
big thing
Havana's
right
doing
now.
really well this year. And I
They
mean, the
love
That's
only
that
so
song.
sad. You love it? Wow.
They love
they're
that
really big on
song.
it.
Oh, they
There's
love it. I didn't know
that's
you
what
loved
all the
it.
idols have been covering is Havana.
Oh,
They're
it's
really big
so
on it. And like
cute.
before that, what was it? Like Uptown Funk, which is, I mean,
And
like
Despacito.
yeah, which are very
Yeah, but I
safe
guess where
songs.
I'm coming from is like in terms of the artists that they admire. For example, I know we're going to talk about it more later, but like they were just so like all over them, like over the moon about this Nicki Minaj collaboration. And they were just like, Nicki Nuna or Nicki Uni or whatever,
Yeah.
that I can't believe it. She's so cool. This is so cool, like wow. Like it's just like, which is really interesting because like Nicki
Of what was
Minaj is
going
like
on here.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
completely different from anything. In fact, that really is what these idols like Jessie they're doing. They're doing this like sort of Nicki Minaj cosplay, and they go in on them. But like with Nicki, it was like she's the coolest person in the world. Obviously, I think there's a lot that plays into that, which I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get to. You guys know where I'm going with that, but I just think that's really interesting, like to see that difference in how like their expectations of their own versus other people, other cultures and ethnicities.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm it's a loaded, I think, topic more so than anything else because like as you said, so much different things go into it, like culture, race, blah blah blah. So it's like what they expect from their idols sometimes it's not even in line with what they listen to. Because, like, they're
Right.
so proud of BTS. But, I mean, I was looking and, like, their, the song that they just dropped, Idol, was like, yeah, it was doing number ones in a lot of places, but there were, like, some number sevens. And,
Right.
like, it wasn't the all
I'll
kill or
kill.
perfect all kill
Right.
like Red Velvet got, or like Winner got, or like Icon got this year too, or
Yeah.
Momoland. Like
Yeah.
those, like at the end of the year, we were talking about this last week. I was like, at the end of the year, BTS will win for album sales, yes, because I mean their album sales are off the charts. But in terms of singles and what Koreans are actually listening to, it's gonna go to probably Icon, I think, or Momoland for sure.
Yeah.
But
I
those are
mean, when
like,
you have stands buying like 10 albums at one time, I think that that's like that honestly this could be another topic, but I think it's just really the stan culture to me is kind of like it doesn't really do much. Like
no.
I guess like you could say, oh look at my fave got broke the YouTube record. My fave, I made $1 million or whatever. They sold a million records. You know what I mean? But what's funny about that is like, what actually does that mean? Like, yeah, they sold 1 million records, but if it's literally just their fans each buying one album, it doesn't mean that in the eyes of the general public that they are the musical standard. That it just means that you guys are dedicated is the word they like, dedicated enough to go out and buy 10 albums in one shopping trip, or to go into Target and steal photo cards,
Oh
which
my
is
God, I saw
another
that.
thing that happened
I saw
Oh
that.
Lord.
when you can just print the
Um,
picture
yeah,
from the internet. It's just like,
but
it's
no, I
not
get what
really
you
proving
mean.
anything. It's like when you have all these streams, these zombie streams is what it is. It's not proving anything. It's like, look at how popular my idol is. They're not popular. You're just dedicated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and it's not sustainable for
At
sure.
all.
Like you buying, like not even just talking about the waste that goes into that. Like these I heard like people saying that like these people who buy 10, 20 copies of these albums, they just leave them in coffee shops in Korea. So like you could walk in and
What?
like there are BTS and like Red Velvet and like Girls' Generation
See?
albums just there because what are you gonna do with 20 albums?
Right. But all that
Like
does it just devalues the art, that really,
I
because
think so too.
if I see something
Mhm.
to honestly, and this is just common sense, but also like it's something in psychology and marketing. It's like basic principle that you tend to associate the price of something with its quality.
Yeah,
So if
no.
you're just like leaving stuff out for me to pick up on the street, if I see a BTS album like on the street as I'm walking home, like at night from the club, I'm not gonna think BTS is the best band in the world. Like I'm gonna I'm gonna be like what? I'm gonna be so confused.
No, I totally agree. And not even that, it comes to like something that we did discuss too when we were watching the music video, the fact that like they could release anything
Yeah,
and people will stream it, people will
yeah,
buy it, people will make sure that it is ranked up there in terms of sales, not quality, but like sales
right.
because of the brand.
Yeah,
And I mean, that also puts a big question on the quality because like I I don't really buy into stan culture in the same way. Like people who buy all the merchandise and buy all the
right.
albums and like whatever. Like I have two albums. I've been in K-pop for almost 10 years and I have two albums, okay? So
Hmm.
that says enough of like how much I buy into it and it's just like it's 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 a waste of money, first of
Yeah.
all. It's a
Yeah.
waste of money, it's a waste of time, and because you like something doesn't mean it has to be good. You know, like
Yeah.
that's just kind of how I would prefer people look at these things, like it's as something to enjoy, something to appreciate, but
Hmm.
not something that is so vigorously defended and like championed that you become really obnoxious and annoying to everybody else, you know?
Yeah. Actually, Heechul from Super Junior had
Yeah.
like he made the statement that like fans sometimes wrap themselves up so much in like his life that it is alarming. He's like, as an idol, I don't even want that. Like,
Yeah.
I appreciate you supporting me and I like to hear that I helped you, like my music helped you through a hard time. But when it's to the point where like, everything I do is connected to your happiness, that's not healthy. And I don't like that feeling. Like I don't like that
Yeah.
kind of pressure. So it's like I fear that, how this ties back into Luna. I fear that with I don't think it will get to this case because I think it's just the fact that they are Nuga right now. But I fear that it might get to the point where it's like you're wrapping yourselves up in their success and you're identifying with it. You know what I mean? Like these young girls and maybe 40-year-old men or whatever, they get so wrapped up in the personas of these girls that
Yeah.
they start to lose themselves in it. And it can make Luna uncomfortable. It can make the general public, like Luna, fall out of favor with the general public. I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, we
And I
might be
only
seeing it right
mention
now.
I'm not trying to directly compare them to armies, but I only say that because Luna fans are already getting, this reputation of, oh my god, here they go again, Stan Luna. There's an English article online that was from some news site that was explaining what the whole Stan Luna phenomenon was about, because I guess Luna fans have been spreading it everywhere upon the girls' debut. So, you know, they're already kind of making a name for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'd seen that, and like they were telling armies to like kill themselves or something like that, and like I saw those tweets, and I kind of just like got out of that right away because I was like I didn't really want to like get into anything like that, but um like these are just groups, these are people you don't know, people you'll never meet. It's not that serious. Like I thought it was really funny how they used to write like Stan Luna at the bottom of other people's tweets and stuff, and like just random conversations on Twitter. But I have been seeing lately that they have totally actually stepped over a line, and none of that is
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
None of
I
that
mean,
is
it
okay. Doesn't
always
matter
starts
who
off as
it's
a joke,
directed at.
right? It
Yeah,
always
of
starts off
course.
as like, oh, well, even like, for example, when I say like, oh, I ironically stand Pentagon or something like that, like
Yeah.
for me, it can be funny, but like there's a point where it's just like, okay, like you genuinely smelling your own, uh, what did we refer to it as earlier? Jimin taking a dump in a cup or something. I don't know. When you're, I was
Poop
trying
in
to
a
come up
cup.
with something a little bit more PG to say that, but it's
Yeah.
like you're sniffing yourself, you're smelling yourself, or you're really buying into it. It's not like something that is just a funny thing. Like, for example, if an idol, does something, I can
Hmm.
see how it would be funny to be like, "Oh, too bad. You should stand Luna." Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
can see
but
how
that's
that would be
that's
funny.
exactly how it was, and that's why it was funny.
Yeah.
And then I seen like, like them going after like armies especially, and I was like, but then I read, but you know what the thing is? These
Hmm.
like fan fights, like there's always
Oh
a
yeah.
deeper layer. There's always a deeper layer here because sometimes it's like they say that, this fandom did this, but it's really like other fandoms pretending to be those fandoms. There are layers to these things, and like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really know who to trust. I just assume the worst of everybody. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm kind of just like, okay, the Luna fans probably said this, but who knows? Maybe they were actually like Army fans, or maybe they were like G Friend fans, because like these people are all crazy. So it's like I don't know.
I mean, it's always like, oh, this was an Army fan that was really an XOL in disguise,
Yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
trying to. I mean, it's like, really? I mean, this is just it.
Teenagers need to stay in school. I mean, focus on your studies. Actually, I'm really happy that school is back in session because summer was just giving these kids too much time. Like writing think pieces about why the lyrics to your favorite idol song is like deeper than 99% of Western artists, which is a real tweet that I saw, by the way.
Of course it is.
Um,
I didn't doubt it for a second.
yeah, I just go back to school. Just do something productive. I
The
don't really
crazy
want to
thing
hear
is,
you.
though, like a lot of fans that I've been seeing lately are like in their late teens, early 20s. So I don't
That
even
is in.
know.
I mean, that's
True.
always a constant of the fandom. I mean, we have to acknowledge the fact that there is that older female male fandom that is
Yeah. And the
also
40-year-old armies, which, oh my God, I read a tweet. Literally, there was this 40-something-year-old army who was like, she had to like discipline her daughter or something like that, her 16-year-old daughter, for not being a loyal BTS fan because I guess she was a multi fandom. I was like, what the? I was like, who qualified you to give birth? Like,
That's actually something that's really big though. Like this whole like pure BTS fans or like these people who believe that you're only allowed to be a BTS fan, you can't be anything else. It actually sounds like a lot of Nazi stuff,
it sounds
oh
but
like
yeah.
they're trying to copy K fans to me, honestly, with the
yeah,
whole you can't be multi fandom thing.
yeah. But
That's so trash.
the ideology, like especially since like it's in Western fans that I'm seeing it in, is very reminiscent of like Nazi, like actual like pure race theory. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
very strange. And I've seen it. Like, I mean, I can't say that it's only armies, but I've only actually seen it with armies. So, it's one
Yeah.
of those things where I don't see it with anybody else. Like, I mean, I have a lot of mutuals in K-pop who stand different things, but they always stand other, like additional things. Like, I don't know anybody who's really just like, I'm only into this group and into these people. And
Like,
yeah,
no, I was just gonna say, like, I even like alluded to it maybe a couple of episodes ago. I was like really just trying to mock those like rabbit stands who are like going
yeah,
after Pentagon, and they always say things like, "Oh, I'm an army purist" or like an army supremacist.
yeah,
Like, I wanted to show people like, do you understand how weird that sounds? Like, yeah, like, you can do it satirically or whatever,
yeah,
but this is something that I think that they think is like normal rhetoric, like normal things to say. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's extreme. Like, imagine if I like was being real when I was like, I'm a Pentagon supremacist. Like, how would you understand how ridiculous that sounds? That sounds crazy. Like, you sound like you would be a part of an ethnic cleansing.
yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
saying.
Like, you are not a fan of this group, so like you have to die or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
and the
you
thing is,
really sound
in
like that kind of person.
today's day and age, where like people are getting shot at like video
Yes.
game conferences or because they
Yes.
lose, like stuff like that has to kind of be slapped down like right away. Like you have to have people in your fandom, in your group of friends or whatever, just being like, no, that's not okay. And if you need help, you need to seek it, or we can
Right.
help you seek it because like one, it gives everybody in K-pop a bad name.
Right.
Like it just does. Two, it gives your specific fan base and fandom a bad name. And three, it's just crazy. Like it's
Yeah.
like not okay to be like throwing on the word supremacist,
Yeah.
like just all willy-nilly. I don't know. It just makes me really uncomfortable when I see stuff like that. Like I press the back button really quickly and I'm just like, I don't want to
Yeah.
I want to get
Yeah.
out
I
of
don't
this
blame
whole
you.
area. This
Yeah.
whole area. And it takes the fun out of it too.
It
Like, I
really
mean,
does.
like you have mutuals or friends like in K-pop and you just kind of like joke around about your groups and stuff like that, sometimes lightly teasing. Like that stuff is fun. I don't want to be like somebody who's like looking up my social security number or whatever, like and trying to like get me fired because I don't like BTS.
Right.
Like it's so
No, like
strange.
honestly, I openly, and I've said this here multiple times, like I advocate for, when I say trashing your idols, I don't mean literally like saying horrible, like obviously you wouldn't attack, for example, Park Jimin for his like weight or something like that. But I mean
Oh
like
God, no.
it,
No, no.
if it's something that like he obviously messed up or did something that was problematic or something like that, it's okay to be like, okay, I don't agree with everything that they are doing and saying, and like to take the step back. And what's interesting about the whole rhetoric of this looking like resembling Nazism to
Yeah.
some extent is like, it shouldn't necessarily be BTS's or Luna's responsibility or Big Hit or whatever to come out and say fans stop doing this, but at the same time, think about what sort of position this could put your idols in. Like if
Yeah.
I'm Big Hit and I have people who are saying things like that and saying BTS aren't really Asian, you know what I mean? They've transcended Asianness. And I can stand them because they're basically white like me, or they're basically not Asian, which is something that
Yes.
apparently a lot of, I didn't even realize this was an issue until recently. A lot of
Yeah.
people dislike the fact that their favorite idols are Korean. Like what? How can you stand Korean entertainment but hate their Koreanness? And you
Well,
think
that's
about the
like a thing.
position,
Yeah.
but it's like, just think about the position that puts the idols in. Like if I'm a company and I see that my fan base is very racist, obviously, or very
Hmm.
much showing these qualities that they are not afraid to do things that are very illegal, very wrong and unethical and immoral to get what they
Yep.
want. And at the same time, that, for example, Jimin's getting death threats like at every other tour date. Like, come on now, like you have to take that a little bit more seriously and come out and say something.
Yeah.
They don't want to isolate the money coming in. That's the thing, right? Like idols and not really idols. I think the company itself sort of toes the line a lot of the time because they want people to love them. even in these really weird, crazy sort of like extremes, because that means they're making more money. That means they're, on social media. That means they're breaking records. So they
Right.
don't really want to like isolate anybody, but at the same time, it's like, the safety of your
Yeah.
idols should be
Well,
number
it's
one.
weird
Like,
because
yeah.
I've seen cases where like the fans themselves have tried policing, themselves,
Yeah.
as opposed to, well, their managers aren't going to do it, so we need to tell Big Hit that such and such people are making these comments, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, honestly, they should be paying attention to that, not you.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. But I think idols also need to sort of like, I think K-pop is changing in that
Mm-hmm.
idols do have a bit more freedom to speak on more serious issues.
Mm-hmm.
Not obviously with every company, not every idol, but I feel like the trend is maybe more towards idols as humans versus idol as the machine.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm hoping that that means that they're going to be able to, like, if somebody asks them something about things that they've done, they're able to sort of, like, in their past that they need to apologize for, and maybe like something in
Right.
the future, they're able to sort of come out and say it. Because, like, I mean, obviously BTS is paying attention because in Idol, the song, the first thing the RM says is like, you can call me artist, you can call me idol. And I thought that was a direct reference to the idea that, like, armies say that BTS isn't K-pop. They're like, they've transcended K-pop. They're artists
Mm.
and blah blah blah. And he's coming out and saying like, no, you can call me an idol. That's what I am. You can call me an
Yeah.
artist. That's what I am. Like, who cares? Like, so I do think that they pay attention.
I mean,
Um,
they definitely have to see
yeah,
what's going on because of the fact that, for example, you mean to tell me J-Hope has time to participate in this like fake challenge that some random army made up for their new video, or like to do the Kiki challenge or whatever? They have the time to look that stuff. Like you have to actually like for that particular like I just feel like you can see those things, but you can't. It's like selective vision, right? Like you
it
can see those
is.
things, but you can't see all the glaring issues that are
I
like
think it's a
right
cultural
there.
thing though. Like, Asian countries tend to be more like introverted in some ways, and they like to
Mm-hmm.
hide like the bad, sort of like,
Mm-hmm.
cover it with like perfume or whatever, just make it go away. And
Ain't
that's
nothing wrong.
why
Ain't nothing worse than a teenage boy who won't shower but will spray Axe all over his body.
exactly, exactly. But I think that's where it sort of stems from, this
Mm-hmm.
idea where like if you ignore it or if you just act like it's not there, it can't really affect you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Personally, I trash talk all my favorites all the time. Like, I don't care because like
Yes.
I I know I love them, or
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with them depending on like if they're problematic. And so like I can admit it, and I personally think it's much more healthy to be able to be like, okay, you know what? He does have a big head. Like, or like he rap like he didn't sound very good in this song. Like, I think it's really healthy to have that kind of relationship.
Or those ugly Balenciagas that they keep wearing. I'm tired of it. Like, you're
Exactly.
allowed to have your own fashion sense, but as another human being, I'm also allowed to dislike it. So,
But
Yeah,
exactly, I think that's just like so much more healthy than this
I
perfect.
mean,
He's perfect.
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, unfortunately, there's not really any room for that kind of discourse
Yeah.
in K-pop fandom. It's just gotten worse as the years. I thought maybe you know it would get better as the years went on, but it's honestly gotten worse.
You know what
I
we should
think.
do then? We should like, I know we always say we should have these like special episodes, but we definitely should have one on problematic faves. I think that's a healthy
Ooh.
conversation to have. No, I think that's because like everybody, I think like woke culture sort of makes it hard for you to admit that you still like things that are problematic because you're a human being, and
Yeah.
like you are
Heart
allowed to
tuning.
like, yeah, I mean everybody, I think everybody has like hard limits, like
Yeah.
of things that they don't
Mhm.
accept. And so like,
Like I would
you
never
know,
stand Zico. I would never. I don't
yeah,
stand anyone, but I would never support Zico, for example. That's like a hard limit. Or like, I
yeah.
probably would never. No, I definitely would never put $1 in Exo's pockets.
Oh God, no. I would
or
never.
anomaly, or I mean, I can literally. There's a lot of very specific idols that like I can maybe enjoy you from like I can't even really enjoy EXO no more, but that's a whole other conversation. EXO is like
Mhm.
Yeah.
next level trash.
Yeah.
EXO is basura.
And the thing that, like, I just have to say is that, like, it pisses me off the people that have canceled Mamamoo, but continue
Mhm.
to support EXO, like, to the stars and back. And I'm just like, how can you cancel one and not the other?
Exactly.
Because to me, they're like, what they've done is like equal. And I'm just like, you are being blind
I think what
Yeah.
makes
to
EXO even, and I even hate the whole idea of like there's like a scale of problematicness. But I think
No.
what honestly makes EXO even worse for me personally is like the continuous, like how just it just does not ever stop. At least
Yeah.
at some point with a lot of other groups, it is either stop or it's like they directly addressed it. I just feel like EXO will continue to just do these types of things. Like, and it doesn't matter what it's about. It could be about race. It could be about, using, like being ableist because that's a thing with EXO. EXO really loves calling you mentally delayed or something of that nature to try to make fun of people. Like, I don't know. They just don't seem like very nice human beings to me. If
Yeah.
I'm being
I've
real.
always gotten that impression. I've never, that's one reason why I've never been able to get into them, because I'm like, they just seem, they just seem very unpleasant in
Yeah.
real
Yeah,
life.
egotistical and
Yep.
just kind of like I think also there's all that stuff where like Sehun and like Chanyeol like you know they pretty much just put expensive stuff on their like Instagrams and stuff so their fans buy it for them. And it's like a lot of egos I think in the room
Yeah.
there. And so like for me I listen to EXO's music but I don't spend any money on them or anything like that.
Hmm.
And I don't actually even listen to albums. I just listen to like their titles now. Like I used to be actually a big fan of XOM until that all fell apart. So now I'm really just like fans of like the Chinese members at this
Yeah, like
point.
I
Yeah.
was kind of like you. I was getting into EXO. Like I told you, I edited CocoBot because,
Yeah.
but like really, I think what tipped it over. I mean, it was already tipped over. Like I already made my mind. I would never buy anything. But what made
Yeah.
me actually stop listening and delete like all of their songs. I don't ask me how I got those songs, but what made me actually like stop like going to YouTube and all that was like the fact that like the chin situation. I just could not. It just I guess it's because it was like I haven't really been into I really hadn't been through an EXO scandal with everyone else. You see what I'm saying? Like
I see what
because
you
I had
mean.
just gotten into K-pop
Mm-hmm.
a little bit before that, like earlier this year actually. So like for me, I guess because I didn't go through it, it was like, okay, I can cancel them, but still sort of listen to their music in a weird way. But then
Yeah.
after the Chen thing, I was just like, Jongdae was actually my favorite. Like,
Yeah.
because I love EXO's vocal line. Like, you can't really mess with them.
Yeah.
But after that, I was just like, there's no hope. Like, all of them, all of them are just continuously disappointing. And they
Yeah.
don't seem like nice people. Like the more you really get into them, the more it just feels like they don't even seem like you would want to hate. Obviously it's just an idol persona, right? But I mean, like,
Underneath
if your
that,
persona,
Yeah.
is
You
to
can
be like a
tell.
mean person,
You
yeah,
can
you can
tell
just
though.
tell.
yeah.
You can get vibes from people. Like you don't even have to know them. Like sometimes you can just get vibes from people that
Yeah,
scream like they are total like crap.
right. And
But
and
I
it's
think
like, sorry,
yeah. No,
I
I
was
was
gonna
gonna
say
say
it's like
too.
we do this.
One at a time,
I just
ladies.
I just
Sorry.
know that I have so many thoughts. I'm so sorry. I was just very quickly gonna say
Yeah.
it's like why I can still be into Shiny because I know Key Bum is kind of trash. Kind of is an understatement. Key Bum has done some pretty trash things, or said some pretty trash things. But I just don't get the vibe that they are evil people who are just out to hurt people. Like I get the vibe that obviously I don't mess with Key Bum the way I mess with like Temmie and like the other members,
Hmm.
but I still just don't get the vibe that he's just like this hurtful, evil person like I do with Baekhyun and Chanyeol. I just Baekhyun, especially, you guys probably have noticed already, but something about him just really just it throws me off. Like I don't even like to look at him like in their pictures.
Wow.
I'm dead serious. I'll cover up his face, and it's not because I think he's just unattractive or blah blah blah. It's because I think he just really his
Hasn't he made
vibe.
some of the more colorist comments in that group too?
Yeah, he's like
I
the
wouldn't be
biggest
surprised.
offender probably of
Mm,
all of them, and his whole vibe just gives me like I think I'm better than you.
yeah.
Um,
I get that from a lot of the members, to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we should definitely have a conversation about like problematic faves and sort of like just let it all out.
Yes.
All right.
Like it's
I'll
funny.
put that on the calendar.
Yeah, because you mentioned Zico, and I mean I'm not a Zico fan as a person, but he had some tracks that I listened to
Well,
that I like listen to regularly. Yeah.
Interesting enough, because I saw a post on the Omona they didn't recently that was talking about how he recently had a concert where because he had a while back apologized for those songs where he had said
Mm-hmm.
certain the N-word and all of those things, and he recently had a concert where he had performed those songs and replaced those words with other things, and there was a kind of a interesting discussion from that post about, you know, whether people forgave him for that or they felt like this was showing growth or that he had learned from it. But I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I heard about that like kind of briefly, but I was also kind of just like, listen, I'm not here to be a Zico fan. I'm really not. I'm just here to listen to Auntie with Jisoo and to listen to Bermuda Triangle, and I am done. Like that's all I'm here to do, okay? So like, but you know what? That's also something we can talk about in that meeting, cancel
Yeah.
culture and like
Yeah.
apologies. Because I'm very big on apologies and like
Yeah.
growth and people like actually trying to be, you know, non pieces of crap. And I feel like so many idols try to like skate by with very general, like very vague apologies that don't actually touch any roots of any problems.
Mm-hmm.
And fans eat it up,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep.
it's crap. It's nothing. It's like, oh, I'm a better person now and I am growing. That's it. And it's like, what's that? That's not
But
even an
then,
apology. Hello?
Hi, Jay.
Hey,
but
Jay.
then, hi,
Yay!
slid
What a
on right on in.
surprise!
Slip right on in and
Oh,
sip
look
some
at that.
tea with us. Spill some tea.
Yeah.
He just tried to skate
Oh my
right
God.
in.
No,
You know what?
us
That's
knowing.
good.
You know, if you
That's
wave
good.
a flag, but you wave a flag, and they want you to shave your head, apology videos on YouTube, or if you
Wait.
date somebody, you shave your head, and then all this stuff. But I mean, that just happened to the girls, so maybe that's why. But the
Look at
guys,
him getting right
I'm
on it in
sorry.
the conversation.
Yes. You know what? We
He's
were
like,
totally off
I'm sorry.
topic anyways, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
we were
It's
like,
good.
It's so
talking
sad
about
that we're moving on to something else.
actually, and
We're
somehow we
definitely
got all
gonna
the
have
way
to
back.
dedicate an episode to this because I love that Nat said she's big on apologies because I think that's something that we need to talk about.
Yes.
I will make room for it on the calendar. Then that can be a special, not your average Nazins episode.
Yes.
But since we've already talked quite a bit about them, let's just go ahead and mention BTS because
Oh, Jay's bias group.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
No, you try to send those armies after me.
I want to hear the theories. That's what I was wanting to hear. So it's good that you're here because I want to hear some theories and like what's going on here, like with this video.
Yeah, definitely, because I
can't. We had a noise problem with it, so I mean, I'm pretty sure that you know what the lyrics are about. I couldn't hear anything really for most of the song, so you can break it down for us.
I really can't. I saw it once and I was like, this is too much. I was like, there's too much going on. Like visually, like the song didn't I couldn't. I just watched it once, and I went on to other things. And like what I was seeing on Twitter, I was like, y'all for real? Like they were like, oh, see, they're saying that the CGI and all that, doing the things that people criticize K-pop for, and I was like, really, who? Because most of the K-pop sets are like real sets, all that elaborate stuff that we be seeing, like that's real. Like they had somebody
Right.
built that. That's like because they spent $1 million on the set for a 3-minute music video. So like the CGI, that kind of threw me off. I mean, some of their fashion, like the suits, like that looked cool. Like the dance. I know some of them were like Afrocentric dances, but I mean, I didn't know just looking at it. I could, they didn't, put that spice into it, I guess. So it was kind of like, okay, they're doing a dance, uh, but I don't know. I mean, there was just a lot, and like looking at the teaser, that's kind of tripped me out because I was like, okay, are they about to go Vix on us and like really throw in their culture like Vix did in the Sharing Linga, and like the live performances of that? Are they really about to go there? Because that's what it looked like, and then got something else.
We got that trash. Basura.
And I really so much just visually and like the lyrics. I mean, I only read like the first one, like what Rap Mom had said. Call me artist, you can call me idol, you can call me whatever you want. And then I was like, I really then I went and watched other things. I just couldn't. I was just
And you know what? There's
I can't, because for this to be BTS's like most popular video, the best one that got the views and all that, and I was like, is this like out of everything else that they've done? It's this,
right?
Yeah,
like kind
that's
of like
the legacy.
their weakest title track is the thing that people are gonna remember them. And I'm only gonna mention this briefly about Nicki Minaj, like her verse, like she like threw together her like rejected rap verses that she had.
Basura.
She rhymed Korea with career.
I couldn't. And then I was like, she's gonna say something nasty about
no.
Sure enough, she did. And I was like, that the song's talking about something else. And she just had to throw in, I got that good that the guys want. And I was like,
honestly, has the Nicki verse ever gone with the actual theme of the song?
I would say sometimes.
In these features here lately, I just feel like
I don't know what she's doing.
Could the timing have been any worse? I mean, as far as them adding Nicki and then
I can't.
Just everything that was going on with her, and then you're like, oh, and Nicki's gonna be on the new BTS song. And it's just like,
Did you see their reaction in the interview? I don't know how long ago that interview was filmed, but when the interview lady was like, "How do you feel about Nicki Minaj?" Like, the only person that got super hype about it was like J-Hope. Everybody else was like, they were so embarrassed.
Oh my god!
Oh wow! I didn't even. You know what though? I did see some theories because I have some mutuals, some really cool, dope mutuals who are BTS fans, and there was something about how people said that Tae's like really stoic or like calm in interviews, so that's why he was acting all goofy, and like how he didn't like people were saying he didn't like Jaemin, so that's why, or he didn't write Jaemin's name or something like that, so that's why there's a part where he must have written it, and how like they feel like they were being managed or micromanaged because of the industry, and so that's why they have those like jumbo versions of them, like to show that they're like their own individual artists and they're like taking control of everything in their career. But I was just like kind of rolling my eyes as I was going through these tweets. I'll be very honest with you. I was just like, I want to see what people are saying about this video. And I was just reading some of the stuff like, yeah, I don't get it. I don't really see the connection here, but sure. I just want more songs like Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I don't really like anything that they've dropped since then, and I'm very sad.
Really interesting. I think we talked about this last time about what we were expecting for this.
Yeah.
And I think we all called it. We were like, this is just going to be their fans trying to make something out of nothing. BTS was just having fun. Idol was just a song where they were just having fun. Bang PD. Sorry, I don't know what made me say that, but Bang PD. Bang PD just went to Africa. He went shopping. He got some beats, threw them all together, and told them to sing or try to sing. And they did. And they had fun, and I'm happy that they did. It's just like overanalyzed by their fans. It wasn't that deep. It wasn't a fresh take like we thought it was not going to be. And also, I wanted to say this. This is what I was talking about earlier that I wanted to mention. Jungkook at their concert recently, for me not to be a BTS fan, I really know a lot of the stuff they do. Am I exposing myself? No. Okay, so Jungkook at their concert a couple of days ago, he screams out, like in Korea, he goes, "My people, my love." And I just thought that was really interesting because Jimin also, like, the interview was released where he was talking about struggling with his alcoholism, and like how BTS was kind of being hypocritical because they were saying love yourselves, but they didn't love themselves. I thought it was really interesting how that all connects back to how we were saying, trust me, this is going somewhere. We were saying like Luna, Nat was saying Luna was trying to say, oh, Korea, we haven't forgotten about you. I think this all does connect in that way. So this is kind of my conspiracy theory on it. I think that it's one of those, like, obviously they are obsessed with getting the approval of their own country, which makes sense. So I think this feels like a Korea, please love us. Don't just love us because America loves us. Love us because you love us.
It's a Korea-America tug of war.
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't have dropped that song then. Like, they should have dropped something else.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I just feel like I'm not saying necessarily the song, but I think the comeback in general, like this. Okay. It just, to me, all of it, taking it all together, like the interviews and then like the things that they've been saying about their Seoul concerts, it's been like, we really just want Korea to continue to support us, and we're gonna like make music that we think Korea will love. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I just get this vibe.
Yeah. That's interesting because I've read from a lot of places that people feel like Idol was really targeted toward Western audiences.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean,
I've definitely read that from a lot of like intellectual sources or whatever, like a lot of articles. And I like, obviously that makes sense. But if you think about it, what is K-pop? What is Korea?
I mean, yeah, it's bastardized
what
Western
we're interested in. So it's, I think what, I guess, and like I said, this is a conspiracy theory. This is completely unfounded. This is me just spitballing based on like taking all of their little comments that they've been making that are a little shady. Like their comments are like, especially since we were talking about earlier, like their fans keep saying things like they transcended Asianness. I think this is really their way of saying we are Korean and we really just want our countrymen to love us. I think that that's kind of the message they want to send in general. Like not saying that's what Idol was about, but like I think that's just what they're trying to say, if they're trying to say anything.
Yeah, I feel you on that because like the first group that comes to mind that was like our focus is Korea is Beast.
Yeah.
I think for a time they had everything going for them to make, in my opinion, to make an American debut and like not crash and burn. But they did it. They let that kind of avenue pass. But look at them now. I mean, like their concert that they had like a year or two ago, I was shook. The band Chance, I was shook because I was like, you don't hear that a lot nowadays, especially for a group as old as them and everything they've gone through.
Yep.
I was shook. I'm serious. I was like, they got it like that, and I guess that makes sense because I mean, at the end of the day, you know, after they're done touring and all that, you know, they can be hot in all these other countries, but when you are like a legend basically in your own country, you're set for life, and they are. No
Right.
matter what they
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
Like even now, like their whole like we're gonna go as a group and make our own company. Most groups that they're gonna be destroyed.
Yeah.
But they had enough clout to do that and survive, and still chart on uh on the Korean record and stuff, and still have presence and things like that, and not get blocked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be something that really that BTS is going for, or that they're really looking towards that. I really
And that's the
don't
thing,
know
like
if they
their
said it.
fans are so desperate for Western validation, even though sometimes they claim that they're not. And they want
Yeah.
them to be nominated for this, and they want them to be part of the Grammys, and they want them to be, they want all these Western artists to acknowledge them, and then of course they want to claim that the artists are just piggybacking off of their fame.
Yep.
When it's kind of like the boys probably don't really. I mean, I'm sure that they enjoy the money and the fame to some extent, but at the end of the day, I mean, they don't really want to become um you know uh famous in America, or global superstars in that sense. I mean, the fans want something completely opposite
Different.
of what the
Of
group
what they, yeah.
wants.
I think that's where I'm like,
Yeah.
I was coming from with that. It just seems to me that this whole era has been about, because even in that very same interview when they said, where do you like to travel, J-Hope was the only person that really said something. He was like, LA. Jimin rolled his eyes so hard. Jimin was like, I never want to go back to America again. Like, not, and obviously that's a little bit of exaggeration, but I think they enjoy the perks of being international celebrities, but I really think where it is it's at Korea for them, and that's what they want to emphasize in everything that they do right
I
now.
think that's
That's what
like
it
a
seems
cultural
like.
thing, though, because like with Tiara was pretty much blackballed like from the charts and from like everything. And
Mm-hmm.
they were in China and they were making money. They were like the top Korean group in China, touring all the time. Like they signed with some Chinese company out there and they got the like CEO bought them all cars and stuff. Like they were making bank. But I remember they did a couple of shows in Christmas in Korea and like those were like you could tell they were just so happy and like grateful to be in Korea and to be performing for the Korean fans.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like it matters so much to them. Like look with all the things that they've done, like in their career, winning for Tiamo, like right before they left their company, that one win, like they couldn't even like do a speech or anything after. They just bawled their eyes out the whole time because they were just so happy that Korea and like the Korean public, were giving them a shot again and we're like just embracing them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like there's no like it's lame and like kind of corny to say, but there is no place like home, right? Like
Right.
that's kind of where you want to have, the most love. You want people to respect you the most. And like as you were talking like about BTS and their success sort of being piggybacked on the fact that they have Western validation, like I can see how that would, like if I was in their position, I would probably feel away too. I'd be like, like when you go to stores and like when you see like ads and stuff in Korea, BTS isn't the top group. 101 is probably up there.
101, yeah.
EXO,
Yeah.
Big Bang is
EXO.
still like, I mean, like people are just waiting for
Yeah.
them to come back from the army. Like these are the top groups in Korea,
Right.
So it's kind of like you want to be seen as number one where you're from. And in that sense, then yeah, I could sort of see that being a point too. But then I think like, solutions, what do they do from here? Do they like just after
Stop
this
making trash
tour?
music.
Well, besides that, like, I mean, I would probably say the best thing to do is like after this world tour, take, like a couple of months off. Their fans will still be there. No, their fans will still be there. So like, let's be honest, and sort of just like recharge and then do a comeback, but make sure you do a Korean style comeback. You do the music shows, for however long that you do them for, and then you go on tour. I
Them-
personally
I'm
think
sorry.
that's what it would be.
I was just like, the music K-pop anymore. They don't even go on the show.
I know, right? I know, right? These poor
Well, I
boys just
mean,
want to go back
you
there.
know, they all go
I
like
mean,
on the shows for like a week at the most now. But
yeah.
Honestly, they probably would prefer like a show champion award over a Grammy.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, but not even that, just because they're like a lot of these artists talk about being in the waiting rooms and seeing other groups and, just being around their peers. And I think that's something they probably miss. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
it is
And
just the six of
not
them.
just the music
Or
shows, but
seven.
also
Wait, did you
like
say 6?
Is it seven?
Who
How
did
many
you
people are
kick
in
out?
BTS?
Let me think.
it's
Who's in
7,
BTS?
right?
It's
There's 7 of
Taehyung,
them.
Jungkook, Jimin, Yoongi, Seokjin, and Hoseok.
Okay.
You
How much?
forgetting Rapmon. You didn't.
Who's that?
Oh,
Did you say his name?
No,
Who's that?
I
you
don't.
left him
What
out,
is
didn't you?
I think you missed
Julie?
RM. Yeah,
I don't know what RM
Yeah,
is.
Rapma. Oh.
Rapmon.
So okay. Listen.
Apparently, Korea doesn't know who he is either. If judging by their their fan cams at the concert. But anyway, that's
I
another story.
mean,
Jay,
Oh,
Jay being shady.
oh
Yes.
Lord.
I mean,
So is anyone going to the upcoming concerts?
No.
oh, tomorrow.
I have a friend that wants to go, so that's why I did the shout out at the beginning of the show. If anybody's got any hookup on any tickets, I'm not trying to get on like close up to the stage or nothing. I'm just looking for something cheap, so we can both go and make fun of all the other armies there that are running
Is
over
that-
top of each other in general
You
seating.
know what? The fact that you say that, like the fact that that's the best part of the concert to you, that speaks volumes to me. Like, that's like what you look forward to the most.
Is that
I mean,
racism
technically, I
talking?
have seen BTS perform before, even though at the time I didn't even really know who they were. But yeah, I mean, if I go, I mean, people watching is going to be like half the fun for me.
Yikes!
And my friend
Yeah.
is just recently gotten into BTS, and so she's like, I want to see
She is going to do
Suga.
the full choreography from her seat. You can hear her version of the raps, of the dancing right there. That's your concert. Is your friend performing the BTS songs while they're
Yep.
that's
She
your
better not, or
Right.
else I'm going
Yes, she
to
is.
the
She's gonna
lobby and
bust out
stay
with
there
her
for the rest of the show.
BTS.
Yoongi is so ratchet.
Yeah.
I can't wait until he goes solo and embraces his ratchetness. I love it.
I really like those like videos of Yoongi just sort of being like just awkward and like and, I know, just he was actually the first member that I really got into. Him and Jungkook, because Jungkook did like this like V Live show whatever with Lee Min Woo from Shinhwa. So like that's actually how I found out who BTS were. I watched this thing and I was like, oh, this kid's kind of cute. I wonder where he's from. And I think that was when they came. That was actually like well into their career. They were at like they had just dropped like I Need You or something like that. So
Oh,
they were
wow.
like already established. I just had no idea who they were until through Shinhwa that I discovered them. And Yoongi was the Suga was like the first one that I kind of knew, and then I got into the bad stuff, and I was just like,
That's the dilemma with like obviously all K-pop, but like particularly Yoongi. I really think Yoongi just seems like a riot. Like
Yeah.
he just seems like he would just be so chill, like just
Yeah.
to hang out with, and he just got like this really ratchet side that like comes out. Like, have you seen
Is he
recently
the one that
bought
twerked in the
rings?
video? One
No,
of
that
them.
was Jungkook.
Oh, okay.
He bought like rings that spelled sugar. I was just like, that is such a rapper thing. He's just stunting. I love it.
yeah, his rap style is not really like from the solo stuff that I listen to. It's not really my thing.
Mhm.
But I like looking at his face, and I think
Interesting.
that there's only like up to go from there. So I'm hoping that he drops something new and it's different. It's It's not so like angry. I think that's what I got from his solo stuff before. It's just very
Yeah.
angry, and I'm like, I hope
You would
he tones
probably
it
really
down.
like J-Hope then. He's not angry. Anyway,
None of them seem like the angry type to
Different.
me. That's interesting.
I think it's because
Daydream is a
Yoongi has
bop.
like
I admit that.
a background that's like he deals with
Well, he
he
almost
was
got blew
dealing
up
with
by
this
that
a lot of issues.
fireball, and he didn't move. I mean, just sitting there like so.
Okay.
So anything else about BTS that you guys need to get off your chest about Idol or like the
While we're
comeback
here,
or the concert or like I do want to go on record. I've said it before.
Oh,
Idol is not BTS's Fantastic Baby or Bang Bang Bang. It's not any of that, okay? It's its own
they have
whatever it
yet
is.
to have their Korean breakout song. It has not happened yet. Blood, Sweat, and Tears was close, but
I thought they really
but
liked I Need You in Korea. I thought that was like a big hit.
I thought DNA was a big hit actually because I just remember watching varieties, Korean varieties, and everywhere that song was everywhere, like on all of the shows.
it was a hit. But I still feel like they haven't found like their national song. You know, like the one that like everyone is singing, and it's just I don't know.
You can use sorry, you can usually
The
tell
love
by like
scenario.
the dancing, like if they do their dances on varieties. And I remember when Blood, Sweat, and Tears came out, people were still doing the dances now to that song. And same with I Need You. I didn't see anybody really copying DNA or Fake Love or Idol as yet. I
I
didn't
mean,
see anybody.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I just didn't see anybody really recreating it on a variety, so I just assumed it wasn't that hot to the Korean public.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like they've yet to have their breakout Korean, like their national song. So
Yeah. One day they'll get their likey.
yeah, I think that's they'll like
Or TT. They're TT.
or cheer up.
Yes.
Twice has had like 3 national songs
Yeah.
by now. BTS has had none. But I think that's maybe one reason why they're like really connected. Like that's maybe something that they're still striving to do
Yeah.
is have like that one super hit song
You know what?
in Korea.
Everybody has to have goals. So maybe that's theirs.
Yeah. Oh, I want to say one thing about their concert is that I've seen, I guess, like the stage layout, and I don't know, I can't remember the venue, but I know it's really big, so I guess it's like a dome venue. I don't understand like how it's like an in stage format, so they have like this huge stage or like these giant screens, the general areas and the seats like 10 miles away from the stage. I don't understand. I really don't understand that. I guess that's like why I have like no interest in going to some concerts, no matter who it is, because if I'm not saying like I need to be like right up against the stage, but if I cannot look at the stage and pick out who is performing and see what's going on stage, I'm not going to pay like $200 or $2,000, whatever the scalpers are trying to go to a concert for that.
I wish I would pay $2,000.
I mean, I
almost did it again.
serious that. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just kind of like, really? Like, and I know that like stages now, I don't know. I feel like for a time concert stages were being less of like that in stage
That's why you
format,
gotta get
and
those.
that they were like more like call it like the stage is like a circle, so you can like move around that. I don't understand like why stages like that, or you know, something different, like when Kanye West was on that floating stage, but that didn't last long because he was going through his issues, or just like think like something like that. When she was on that little platform thing, and then that floating, like things like that. So like,
Yeah.
fly to the air so everybody can see her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like,
Well, I don't know. I feel like it's like they're
I mean-
encouraging fans to get those general admission tickets so you can stand up near the stage and have to be on your feet all night
I
long.
mean, but I'm really not into that. I mean, I never been in like the pit area. I think it's
Me
scary.
either.
I think for me
Yeah.
it would be like
Oh, I would never
scary.
go to the pit
And
area at a
I
K-pop concert.
couldn't. I feel like I couldn't do that. I mean, like when I went to that 2 p.m. concert, I feel like where we were at was close enough. Well, maybe we could have got a little bit closer, but I did not want to be in that pit because I mean, first of all, I was like one of the only guys, anyways, and so that would have like been a different dynamic to begin with. And just like standing up for like 2 hours, I mean, I couldn't do that. I mean, at that Janet Jackson concert, I mean, I had to sit down a few times because I was tired. I was giving my mom a performance. I was like, you may not be able, you don't know this song, but I know it. So this is about concerts in general that like they're hot right now and they're like big, so I guess like this whole production is matching that. But I like to see some of like like the smaller scale kind of concerts. So I guess that's what I'm just trying to say. Like, I want to see them perform a variety of places, but also not something like, the car dealership is opening and do a set. Like, I don't want to see things like that. I don't want to see like performing in a Walmart parking. Like, I don't want to see that. But, just like smaller scale
like
kind
shade.
of performing venues. So I mean, I don't think like going to the concert is worth it. I mean, unless you're like in a general admission area and you're gonna be in those seats that are 10 miles back, I don't think it's worth it. But that's just me. So
as a quick side note, thanks for the second time this week, I almost accidentally referred to BTS as BET. I just keep saying BET. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh my god!
I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, it's Namjoon, man.
Since that
He's a hotep, so he got me thinking.
Oh my god!
Have you seen those memes? Those Namjoon is a hotep memes. Okay, I'm done. I digress.
I guess we'll leave it there. Let's go on to our next topic here. So, a little unexpectedly, the news came about that JYP Entertainment had spoken with their artist Joan Somi of Produce 101 and formerly of 16 reality show, competition show, and come to the mutual agreement to terminate her exclusive contract. And that was pretty much all that was said. That JYP had come to some sort of agreement and they decided this Somi would go. And that was it. And this has pretty much spawned a lot of conspiracy theories and rumors as to exactly what happened. Somi did post on her Instagram after leaving. She posted, "The darkest nights produce the brightest stars. You guys are my everything. Love you lots." And her father also left a message implying that they left on good terms, that he said that he shook hands with the JYP staff, gave them a hug, and then left. And they went and got ice cream with Somi's manager. We'll be cheering each other on. And then after the news dropped, JYP Entertainment released a bunch of articles promoting another trainee that is probably the next popular girl in JYPE right now, other than Somi, named Shin Ryujin. Shin Ryujin. And they basically dropped a bunch of articles JYP's new group, Jun Somi, may have left, but they have dark horse Shin Ryujin. Shin Ryujin, not Jun Somi, is the talent that YG, JYP have praised to the heavens. Jun Somi versus Shin Ryujin, second stage of life, to be continued as rivals, not co-workers. Obviously, the original plan, or what people thought the original plan was that the next group to come about, because obviously JYP is going to be having the second season of his 16 competition reality series to make his next girl group. And the assumption was that Somi was going to be in it, and also Shin Ryujin, and then whomever else that won this reality show. Now that Somi's gone, there's been, some talk about, JYP was really quick to jump on her bandwagon after Somi left. But the real question is why Somi left in the first place. A little note here is that, as far as we know, only 2 other JYP artists have had their contracts terminated. And that has been Hyuna, who originally was terminated because of health reasons, and J Park. And then I think the guy from Day 6. So that makes 3. Yeah. So generally, like in the Wonder Girls cases, even when Sunmi left the, for a while, her contract was intact. Sunmi and Sohee left, but their contracts were not terminated. So it's kind of an unusual situation, and people are not sure whether it really was on good terms or not. Whether Somi was just tired of the idol life, and she's already been in, you could say she's already been in a girl group. She was in IOI, she did tours, she did variety shows, she did performances, she was on music shows, she's done project shows. I mean, she's done more than a lot of girls in Nugu groups have gotten, and trainees have gotten the chance to ever do. So maybe she's just wanting to go in another direction. Another theory is that her father, who is known to be a bit of a stage dad, maybe a bit of a stage whore, may have something to do with her leaving. He may want to take Somi and maybe start his own management company or manage her himself. Maybe he thinks he could do better or make more money with Somi by herself, as opposed to her having to share resources and share a paycheck with a group of girls. And this is her father's doing. So that's another theory. This may be another J Park situation where we may never know what happened, but it certainly is kind of odd, considering that, Somi has been, looked at pretty much as the next Suzy in essence. And, you'd think that JYP would fight really hard to not let her go. So it was a big surprise to a lot of people. Any thoughts on this?
I will say that JYP does have a reputation of like caring about like your character as a person. I really don't know much about Somi, so I really can't comment on her character. But I do know that he does take that seriously. Some people that were in the company or trainees, that they did get kicked out because like they had attitude. So they were really cocky. I don't know if they were doing like bad things or like treating other people bad, but I do know that if it wasn't because they were cocky, it was because they weren't like studying. And so that's like another reason why he let some people go. Were trainees that left, and he when he found out about it, he was mad, and then he sees like, I use Slade on the charts. So I mean, there's that. So I mean, I really, I'm just going by like somewhat what I know. So either she did something that he was like, you got to go school and say, or if it wasn't like his decision or somebody else made it. Because when IU got cut, it wasn't his decision. Somebody else made it. And he didn't find out until later. So I really don't know. But I mean, like this thing happens in companies. But I mean, it's kind of like, because they were promoting this girl like, she was the next best thing since sliced bread. so, so for her to leave, it does raise some questions, and her dad does have a certain reputation. So if he's had a part in this, I don't know, maybe, because if you know somewhat of how some stage parents can be. Yeah. So that angle, I wouldn't completely rule out, or like if it didn't play some part, unless he was telling her, look, if you're in this group, you're gonna have to share this money, you're gonna have to do this and this, whether you like it or not. But if you're by yourself, you don't gotta worry about that. And she does have a lot of clout now, whether she's in a group or not, because people know her name. She's been in all that. So somebody's gonna like pick her up and like work with her on something. So I don't think that she'll be flat broke and she doesn't manage her money right, or who's ever in charge of that. So I mean, that's all I gotta say.
I don't really know anything about Jeon Sumi. I'll be very honest. Like I've seen her around, like as a peripheral thing, but like I, the only thing I've really seen article wise about her is when she did this article about how it's like so hard to be biracial in Korea as a white and Korean person, and how she was bullied. And like she had these like industry people talking about how like, oh, if she'd stayed in Canada, she would definitely be a pop star now. And I remember just like rolling my eyes when I was reading that whole article, because I was like, you're like I'm sure it's rough regardless, because Korea's really big on like one race, being a one race state. So I'm sure like there was some comments about being biracial, but you're the ideal. You're Korean and white. Like I mean, look at all the like Korean and black artists who like either got bullied out of the industry or like had to really fight and excel in many ways in order to be, seen as something good in the Korean industry. And then on top of that, I was like, I'm in Toronto. Like no one's listening to pop music like that. Like, what were you gonna do, like music wise, for you to be a big hit in Canada? It was very confusing. So I guess for me, like, I I only know about that, and that didn't really give me a good idea of her. Um, but I did follow up on some of the articles about this situation, and her dad seemed like he's running all of this stuff. I think like I don't know if she has much of opinion on what's going on or on her career or on her contract, but it seems like it's the adults that are screwing up. Like her dad seems like he's really pushing her sister too, who's even younger, to like be an idol and to be in the industry. But also like why would JYP put her in through another contest to be in an idol group? She already did it with Twice. She already did it with IOI, and she was actually in IOI. Like, why does she always have to prove herself to be in these groups if she's already established herself like enough to be like the leader of this group?
So
that's that. No, I'm confused. I'm confused because I thought she was going to be in like a contest.
Okay, so with EXO,
Yeah.
So it was around this time, like when EXO was like forming, or like when people were talking about it, is that companies will test you a lot, constantly, all the time, to see like how, like to test your spirit, or like your will of like how bad you want it. And so what some companies will do is that they will prepare, like say like they're gonna get a group of people and like, okay, you are gonna debut, they're going to train you like, you're going to have a showcase and all that. You might actually do that. And then they will tell you, sorry, something didn't work out. The group is no more. Just to see your reaction, just to see how you're going to react to that news. Like, we just did a whole showcase and we did the songs, we learned all this stuff, and now you're telling me we're not going to debut. They're waiting to see what your reaction is. And I want to say with some people in EXO, I want to say like that determined whether they got in the group or not. So if they were like crying, falling on the floor, saying F this, they were cut. But if they were like, you know what, okay, what do I got to do now?
Yeah.
That's the people that got it. So I feel like that's like, I mean, this is exhausting and extra. But if you're willing to go like that far to debut or to be an idol or anything, then they're probably like, okay, we can invest or like really invest our money and time in this person because they're willing to still keep at it, even if they lose, even if they get a little taste of like what they could have as a career. We're gonna keep them. Now, if something doesn't go their way and they're gonna fall on the floor and be crying and all this, we need to cut them because we ain't got time for that.
That sounds like actual hell. Like I don't understand
I'm not
how
surprised.
you could put somebody through that.
I read that. I was like, oh my god, but it was like, oh, I can kind of see it, but then again, at the same time, I was like, you're messing with people's emotions too much.
Yeah,
like that whole mixed nine situation reminds me of like what Icon. So they were like prepped to win the first, like them versus winner or whatever that was called. And then they had the other one, like the mix and match. And they're like, okay, well, 3 of you are in. And then the other ones, we don't know about. And I was like, are you serious? I didn't watch any of that because I was like, this is extra for me. Like, I was invested. I was invested the first time, like really hardcore, like watching it every day and being like, I don't know who's going to win and stuff like that. I was almost to the point of like, let me fake a Korean profile so I can vote for who I want. It was almost like I was really invested into that. Don't ask me how or why. But then like the whole like finale when winner won, and I was like, are you serious? And he was like, oh well, I might debut both groups. And I was like, why were you doing all this? You're just messing with everybody's emotions and time and money and all this. Like, it didn't make any sense. And I guess that's what really turned me off to like the whole survival show. And I was like, okay, I understand like some people, like help them improve where they're, you're doing great, like soul eight. Like, there are other ways to help somebody improve and not kill their spirit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's why I was like surprised when I heard about like that.
And these are kids. I mean,
yeah. And I guess if she was supposed to be the leader, I guess that's what all this was. It's like, like she was really going to lead. Because, I mean, sometimes that role is just a title role where you really don't do anything. But other times it's like you really need to, like, lead and, like, get them in line when they're acting out or, like direct the flow of, like, how conversation and interviews are going to go. So I guess they were really, like, putting her to the pressure to see how much she could take. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why she got cut, because she was like, y'all got me messed up. You want me to do another show?
Yeah, but that's what I heard about that. I'm like, nah, B. I'd have been like, yo, you know what? You can keep it. You can keep all of it. Like, I'm not doing that again.
So I don't know. Maybe that's why, but I really can't say, because like none of us were there. But I mean, if that was going on, I mean, well, that kind of was. That's why. That's something you don't really see a whole lot. I mean, that was only that one time that I read about that, and I never see anything about it come. So you always gotta be looking for that tea. Just saying. Just saying, because it might not be there anymore when you try to go back and look. But, so I don't know if that helps clear things up or not, but I'm gonna say it does happen. I don't know if it happened in this particular case, but I'm just exhausted just thinking about it, going through 2 Survivor shows and then another one. No, I would say I quit.
Well, I think, I don't know if Jimin or Nat said it, but I'm sure Somi will be fine either way.
I think she'll be
like
fine.
you said, she's she's still highly sought after, and so if she decides that she wants to go somewhere else, I'm sure another agency will pick her up. Or if she's, if her dad's, wanting to manage her, then best of luck to her, I guess, on that. But or if she just wants to live her life as a normal teenager or go to college, then that's understandable too. So we'll see what happens. So let's be prepared, because Fox has landed the rights to a K-pop movie pitch from Scooter Braun. Remember him, the guy that was handling CL's career? So he made a pitch for a K-pop movie about a Asian American college student from the U.S. who becomes a top competitor on South Korea's toughest K-pop competition show. And the movie is going to be written by Elise Hollander, who is the writer behind the Madonna biopic Blonde Ambition. She's writing the screenplay. And it's also being produced by a bunch of white guys. And that's pretty much it. And also Scott Braun is going to be producing. And I don't really have a lot to say about this, because I don't see this coming out very well in any way. So
I'm sorry, excited. I just blew out everybody's eardrum.
What?
I said, I'm sorry, I blew out everybody's eardrums from laughing.
Just a mess. Just a mess.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's gonna be so bad. But you know what?
You guys aren't excited?
I've seen that Madonna movie. I think I've seen that Madonna. If I'm remembering correctly, I think we are going to be in for a real treat.
I mean, it's being written by a white lady. I mean, I'm not saying she's not a good screenwriter.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying anything, but like, I think I've seen that movie, and like, just my memory of it was,
it was about Madonna in one of her tours or something.
Yeah, like just her, like her, like before she got famous and starting out, and just like, oh my goodness. I mean, when I heard about it and when I watched it, I did have a certain expectation, but then like what I was seeing, I don't. It looked.
I mean, it was Madonna. Jay, what did you expect?
Yeah. It looked like a sitcom, like you were like not a movie, and then just, I mean, yeah, the acting was what it was, but just how things were going, and like it, even if that's like some of it was based on truth, but just like the way it was presented, it was like really like, I don't know.
I guess we know what to expect for this then.
Yeah, so I just like this whole I don't know, and I feel like this is setting up to whoever's gonna play the main character, like for it. Okay, so they're a Korean American, and I know that that Korean Americans, some of them want to connect to like their Korean side of who they are. So of course, they're gonna go to Korea and all that. And to go on like I hear like the toughest Korean competition. So are like, what subjects are they gonna touch upon? Because they're with the person being Korean American, and they're going to Korea for like the Korean toughest singing dance competition or whatever. So how are they going to handle that? Like, are they doing research about that, like the perception of?
That's what I'm saying. I don't see any,
and like vice versa. Like, are they really to touch upon those, or like how are they gonna? If they are,
I don't see any Asian names here. I don't see any Korean names here, and I have to wonder I mean, I don't know how much Scooter Braun knows about the K-pop business, but I'm just thinking, you know,
This is
are they really going to be able to capture what makes K-pop so interesting in an American-made movie? Because I have a feeling the answer is no.
They should take this opportunity to employ Amber Liu.
I'm sure Amber is already sending her CV, some audition tapes, videos. She's already sending all of her audition information to them, like currently.
I support. I support.
I mean, I just don't see the appeal unless they're actually going to have, like, they're trying to capitalize on K-pop, but what people want to see about K-pop are their biases, the groups that they like. So unless they're going to be appearing in this movie, I just don't see what is going to be appealing about it. It's just going to be step up with singing and K-pop like songs. And that's it. I mean, and then maybe some cameos from like Tiffany or someone.
Oh, she's definitely going to be all up on that.
Yeah,
For sure.
But other than that, I just, and the announcement literally came like the weekend after Crazy Rich Asians like debuted at the box office and like bowled everyone over. And I have a feeling that had something to do with this being greenlit. I'm not saying that I know it did, but
It had a
just kind of had a feeling it did have something to do with it. But I just don't see this working. I really don't. I mean, what about you guys? I mean, I mean, if anyone's excited about this, don't be afraid to say it. Don't let my attitude get you
Over
down.
the moon.
Wasn't there a Nickelodeon show kind of like this? I feel like there was, like Nick Cannon was involved. Like there was a show kind
I think
of like
so. Yeah, I remember
like
kind of.
that didn't even go anywhere. But I mean, it kind of was another one of like those shows that was out already of like, you know, they're a teenager and they like to sing and dance and like live a normal life, but also want to perform on stage and kind of da da da. But just like somewhat of the setup was because okay, you know, Korean music's kind of in right now, so this is just, you know, a cash in on that, and it's just like, well, when I saw kind of like things that I already knew that wasn't like shocking, like it was kind of like normalized for me to see as opposed to somebody that's just coming into this and like, oh, I'm gonna support this, like. So I don't know. I guess that's what I'm like. Yeah, this I feel like this the extended version of that show.
Yeah, and like I said, Oh, go ahead, Jay.
So I mean, that's what I feel. This is not going to be, you know, somewhat of a good thing. Like the Wonder Girls movie, you should all go watch it. You will not be disappointed.
Oh, it is a classic.
So it's not gonna be nothing like that. Like I'm not. No, it's gonna be like this Nick Cannon show that we can't even remember the name of. That that's what it's gonna be like, and I'm not here for it. Then you go back to the drawing board, get some Korean Americans, some Koreans, people that work in the industry. They really like provide, I guess, a more authentic view of things, and I guess a sterilized way that's not going to cause any too big of a controversy. But that's not going to happen.
Honestly, BuzzFeed, I feel like would do a better job at putting together something like this, given they've done a lot of videos on K-pop before and they actually have like Korean people. I mean, it's usually Korean Americans, but still, I think that this is just not something that, I don't know. It's just not something that I feel like is going to work. But you guys already said it all. So.
Yeah, and just generally, I was reading just to see what people's reactions were, and it's interesting. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of excitement from like K-pop fans either. I mean, I think people in general just kind of know that this is just cashing in. So unless BTS shows up, makes a cameo or something, I
They're who we have to thank for stuff like this.
Yes.
true,
I would
very
be
true.
kind of
They
interested
should
though
get
to
one on
see like
one.
how Koreans actually feel about something like this. Because I mean,
Yeah,
they're taking
they should.
like
That's why.
their concepts, no, and like westernizing it. So I'd be like, I mean, obviously, I would prefer not to have these things created from the white gaze personally, but I mean, like, I don't know how I would prefer to see how Koreans feel about it before I even like really comment, if I even really comment on it. Because I mean, I know I'm not gonna watch this. I know that like I read about it, I forgot about it already, and we're talking about it now, and I'll forget about it in 5 minutes. Um, it's just like it's sort of like off the radar for me because it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I actually would like to be very interested in to see like how Koreans and Korean Americans not really into K-pop, but like this is something from their culture. I would like to see how they feel about it.
Mm.
To kind of gauge, because I mean they're the ones who would really like they're they'd have opinions on something that is reflective of them. So I think that would kind of be interested to see how they feel about it, especially when we talk about things like Western validation or white validation and how it's like praised. Um, it would be kind of interested to see like how they actually feel about how they're going to be portrayed in many ways. And you know, like this is about them, and you reading the sheet, and there wasn't a lot of Korean names on there. So yeah, I think this is going
Okay.
to be like a next stage kind of thing. So I'm interested to see how it turns out.
So,
Yeah, sorry.
what you said about like seeing like the Korean Americans and Korean perspective about it, it reminds me of like that Ghost in the Shell movie with
Oh,
Scarlett
Oh
Johansson.
yeah.
yes,
So,
yes,
so I would say the Japanese Americans they were not happy with Scarlett Johansson, particularly anyways that she was an Asian woman, but the Japanese were like all for it
yeah,
Yeah, that's
because
very
they
common.
were like, because they so okay, so you know this um so a part of our culture has made it to America and is being made into this movie, so we should be happy about that. But there were some Japanese were like, no, that Ghost in the Shell has like is a certain look at Japanese society and some of the problems that it has. So to have no like Japanese people in like the main roles, I looked at, well, at least in the main character's role that Scarlett Johansson was playing, so not have somebody Japanese or somebody close to that, Japanese American or Japanese British or something along those lines, to not be the main character is kind of a slap in the face. And then Japanese Americans were like, "Why is this white woman playing a Japanese woman?" So it was this whole big complex thing of some people supported it, but some people didn't. And I mean, well, I mean, I didn't have no say because I got no seat at that table.
Right.
So I
yes,
mean, all I could do
Yeah.
was
yeah.
look, look and see what people who did have a seat at that table were saying,
But
and that's all I could do. So it'd be like in this case, I would be interested to see like how they feel about it, and because I said like if they want Koreans to be on board, they need to have somebody from 101 in there.
Right,
I'm
right.
serious. I'm
Kang
serious.
Daniel is the main
They need to
character.
have one of them. Maybe a BTS. They need it. But that's just me. So,
I mean, I think this whole conversation about like just mentioning that point of how Japanese Americans versus people, Japanese people in Japan responded, for example, to Ghost in the Shell. It's really interesting to see how the diaspora responds
Yeah,
in different
mhm,
places. I mean, even you can obviously I don't have a seat at that table like yourself, Jay, but just
mhm,
even if you look at it from like the Black American perspective versus the you know Nigerian perspective or the Ghanaian perspective, or
Mhm.
you know what I mean. It's just really interesting how um, I think maybe because we're in America and we can see sort of these power structures play out in terms of, you know, white privilege and things like that, and you know, us being underrepresented, us being, you know, people of color being, you know, underrepresented. I think that we take those types of things in account, which, you know, in Japan, they don't have to think about that because it's 99% Japanese. So they're like,
Exactly.
we see ourselves everywhere. Like,
Mhm.
we don't, you know what I mean? We don't, representation is not that big of a deal when you have it. But when you're not
Mhm.
used to it in America, if you're Japanese American, you don't know what's going on, probably don't know what's going on in Japan. You just, you're filtering it through that American mindset. So it definitely will be interesting to see how K-Nets respond. It's really interesting to see how K-pop fans are responding, because even though not every international K-pop fan is Korean, there are a lot of Korean K-pop fans in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that sounds like it should be obvious, but I actually, most of the Korean people that I know don't even mess with K-pop like the long
Yeah.
way. So
Right.
Same
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
it's like, will they even care? um, like you said, maybe if we get Kong Daniel in there, they will. But
Yes.
interesting.
Mhm.
Well, we'll have to see how that turns out. A little side note here. So apparently, for some reason, EXO fans start spamming pictures of Kai online, and I forgot exactly. I forgot what the context was. If they were spamming pictures to Fenty Beauty, or they were like actively trying to get like Fenty's attention. I think so. I think they were trying to get Fenty's attention, and they were spamming pictures. And Fenty responded, and they were like, "We hear y'all. We see Kai, and we might put something together. So we might see Kai in some Fenty beauty spots with Rihanna sometime soon. I don't know. How do
Um,
y'all feel about that?"
I really hope that Rihanna, even though I know she's more like a figurehead, I mean, I know she's very involved too, but I really hope she fires the intern that responded to all of those XOLs. I hope that I'm dead serious. I didn't ask for this, and I know XOLs really did it as a joke, but then it got taken very seriously. Nobody asked for this. Kai, we know he's cute. We know that his skin color is gorgeous, and we know that he would, you know, do well to um, have foundation that actually matches his skin, and not look casket ready for once. But I didn't ask for this. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, Kai is attractive, so he would, I think, do fine in a beauty pictorial. But I agree with you in that I don't think we need to encourage this kind of behavior from K-pop fans, because we already get it from armies, we get it from XOLs, and then soon everybody's going to be doing it and just like spamming their
Mhm.
favorites everywhere. I think, what didn't the armies try and do that, or was it another group that was trying to get one of their members with Gucci?
Huh? I did
Yeah,
not hear
it
about
was
that.
I think
it was either
who was
EXO
it
or
though?
BTS, I'm pretty sure. And they kept spamming Gucci because one of the members wore like Gucci's products or whatever. And so they were like, "Oh my gosh, Gucci needs to get this member in their campaign," and Gucci just straight up ignored them.
Good
And
for
they
Good.
Gucci.
kept like, they were so convinced that, and I for the life of me I cannot remember who it was, but it was somebody in BTS or EXO.
It's
It
probably
could have been
EXO.
really.
Was it
It
Tay?
could have been
It,
Taehyung though.
It
It's
might have
either
been
him or
him.
J Ho.
It's
It's
somebody
either
that
him
wears
or J
Gucci
Ho.
products a lot.
It's either
Taehyung
him or
definitely
J
does.
Ho. One of the two, because I think I remember that Gucci. I don't know. Don't know.
I mean, the main thing, there's a lot of things I don't like about this whole let's try to get the attention of Western artists. I mean, there's layers to that, but the main thing I don't like about it is I just feel like I don't want my icons like Rihanna and Beyonce and Serena Williams. Don't ask me where I'm going with this, but I really don't want my icons collabing with people who we know how EXO gets down. I just don't want,
Anti-black and colorist and
yeah. And then think about
ignorant
that
and tone
reputation being
deaf.
attached to Rihanna.
Yeah.
Rihanna deserves the world. Okay? I love Rihanna. I don't know why. It's really actually kind of uncanny, but she deserves the world. She doesn't deserve to have this happen to her. So yeah, I'm dead serious. It saddens me. So in the end, if it's an idol that I feel like it matches more, like for example, if it's Hyorin doing something with who's like SZA, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of people who might be on the same level. I think that type of thing makes more sense, but I just don't want people like EXO and Mamamoo and all these people to when these people as in these groups, these K-pop groups, I want to make that clear. I'm not talking about a race of people. I'm not an army. I don't call myself a purist or anything like that. I don't want that to happen. I just feel like it's doing the most. It's giving these idols a little too much. Like X already has egos, like we talked about earlier. It's giving them a little too much to attach themselves to. If that makes sense, like
Yeah,
I
it's
got the
giving them
attention of Rihanna.
validation.
Yeah, validation. Like if anybody's gonna get validation, I would want it to be like a group that deserves it, or like a person that has a decent enough past in history.
I
What do you guys
get it.
think?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's weird to me because I've never found Kai to be attractive at all. Like, at all, at all. So I usually just kind of like ignore him whenever I see like his face pop up and stuff like that. I just don't bother. I just don't bother. But
funny.
I did hear about this, like the Fenty thing, and I was just like, like you want everything that we have, including our like fame and popularity and clout, but you're still like such a piece of shit when it comes to like things like your fake dreads and like making fun of skin color and like saying the N-word and like all this other really crappy things. And like these people either know about it and don't care, or they don't know about it because obviously like there's who in their team is going to be able to be like, well, at this during this concept for this comeback, he had these really ugly dreads. Like no one's gonna like on their team's gonna really know that, right? So it is kind of like it's like, can you not just like come up on your own? Like
yeah. Oh my god.
Like,
thank you.
That's I just feel like, do you have to take everything? And I mean, it sounds kind of drastic and like kind of extreme maybe. But I'm just tired. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just really, really tired of like having to, because I mean, like, this is stuff that we like. This is just like a hobby. I mean, I'm not getting paid to watch K-pop videos,
Right.
And, like, so it's kind of like, it always comes to head once in a while where you're kind of just like, is this all of this even worth it? But I think that maybe to look at a positive for it, maybe it's going to help introduce darker shades into Korea.
Hopefully.
And like, yeah, and a brand like Fenty, which is really open to different and diverse skin complexions and colors and ranges. So I I mean, I'm just going to look at the positive and hope that this is going to help a lot of the people in Korea who have dark skin, because there's a lot of people in Korea
Yeah.
who actually do have dark skin. And also
Yeah.
just like the
Yeah.
foreigners, like the people
Mhm.
who are foreign to the country, who live there, who will
Yeah.
probably have to like leave the country or order or hope that someone's going to deliver to Korea
Right.
in order for them to get, a shade that matches them, which means that they can't go to the store, they can't test it. Like it's just, I'm hoping that this, if it does happen,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, who knows at this point, but if it does happen, I hope that it is sort of like an awareness moment, or maybe more of an awakening in the
Yeah.
makeup industry in Korea. And, you know, might not change my feelings about Kai, but at least something good will come out of it.
That's a
Well, to
really
be fair,
optimistic way to think of it.
Yeah,
yeah, it is. Well, to be fair, nothing official has happened yet, so
exactly.
nothing may come of it. Like
Yeah.
Jimin said, it may have just been some over enthusiastic intern that was like, "Oh yeah, we'll hire Kai," and
Right.
you know, then their supervisor was like, "I don't know who that guy is." No,
Right. I mean,
It's-
I am tired of the dark skin erasure in Korea. For some reason, there's this rhetoric being spouted that like all Koreans are pale, and that if you see a Korean that's dark, it's rare, and it's like
that
it's
is
just.
a
And I'm just
Oh
like,
my
that is a
gosh.
straight up
Okay.
lie. That is such a
yeah. I'm
lie.
like, do
Okay.
you guys even actually live in Korea? It's
That
like,
Oh,
is, they know it's a
um,
lie.
yeah.
they do. Like, I can't.
They're like, oh my God, how did Jesse get so dark? What?
She was probably
Gasp.
born that way.
They're like, there are people in Korea born this way? And I'm like, are y'all serious? Like, yeah,
Yes.
you cannot be serious.
I can't. Because I will say that a lot of the Koreans at my university, they were tan. They weren't like white or fair like some of them want to describe themselves to be. So I'm not saying like that none of them exist, kind of shade, but to act like all of them are, it's
Right.
like
That I
I
mean,
feel like
that's.
no, come on.
I
You
mean,
know,
you walk
I
in a crowd of Koreans in say Seoul,
right?
and you're likely to see. I mean,
They're not gonna look like your
shades.
face, you know.
Yeah, I
They're
mean,
they're gonna
they're
look like
not going to be as
like
pale as these
And it's
idols
so,
are.
I feel like in a way, like the idol beauty standards, well, not in a way, I mean, they do. They reinforce that and so negatively because it's just like, when you just see the difference, like between like looking at idols and then actually like real, I mean, idols are real Koreans, but you know what I mean, like everyday Koreans who
Yeah.
haven't had any work done,
Yep.
who like it's like a totally different race of people sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's like, how is this possible? I actually, have you guys stumbled across any of those like Instagram makeup routines, and like every now and again you'll get like a Korean makeup routine where the girl somehow like shaves 8 inches off of her jawline, like
Yeah, magic.
using magic.
Oh,
Like,
crap. Yeah.
I'm just like, what? Like or like stuff paper
Sometimes they
towels
just go to
up
the
their
doctor and
noses to
do
like
that.
make their nose look small. I'm like, what?
Mhm.
Woo, it's a whole mess. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna pray for Korea. I'm gonna
I will say,
ask the Lord.
I mean, the struggle is real there. The self image is not at a great, it's not at a great spot there. I mean, their standards of beauty are extremely high. I mean,
And I don't even like
that's
the
why you
term
have.
high, because I feel like, nothing against how you saying it, but
Mhm.
I feel like it sort of reinforces the idea that pale is better by saying like, okay, the standard is high in that sense.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not saying that as in high being better, just in unattainable, which I guess is
Yeah.
maybe like a better word. It's
Yep.
an unattainable, like, place. Like,
Yeah.
people are
high
not born
pressure.
looking. People are not born looking like this. The idols are not born looking like this. Most of
Nope.
them go to the doctor
Right.
and get these
Nope.
faces
And
carved into these shapes that
and the
people are
thing
not
is,
born with.
if you are born looking like that, nobody is saying that you're unattractive. I've actually seen that before, like by us and just any rational person saying that you should embrace like your natural tan. They sort of somehow twist it into making it seem like we're saying pale skin is unattractive. That's not what anybody's saying. We're just saying, sis, you don't look like that naturally. What's attractive on people tends to be what naturally occurs on their faces. Like your
Yep.
face
Or
is made
it's
that
or
way
it's
for a
as
reason.
a
It's arranged that way because your features fit together that way.
right. It's like Janetto. Some people do not got the money to be carving up their face, and
Mm-hmm.
getting
Right.
like so. For some of us, you just have to work with what you got and
Yep.
stuff. And I mean, that's a long journey.
Yeah.
To really accept some things about you. But I guess when it does happen, it does open up a whole new doors. And this is bringing up, so there's this one manhwa, so it's like Korean mangas, called Lookism, and
Yeah, I've heard of
Yeah.
that.
I love it. I love it so much because some of those stories, I mean, they have me shook. But like the general thing that I see come up repeatedly is that some of the characters, like whether they're attractive or not, if they, from what I've seen so far reading, is that if they have any amount of like self confidence, or like they're okay with how they are as a person, like some of the people around them, it like makes them like mad or jealous that like the person, they're not rich, they're not pretty, nobody likes them, they have no friends, they're poor, they're this and that, but they're like they have some sense of happiness, and they makes them jealous. And so that's like why some of the characters, I feel like why they're beat up on or people pick on them, is because despite everything against them, they have some like sense of happiness, and because whoever the attractive or other person is, they hate them for that, so they're going to try and make them feel miserable. And I mean, that's like the biggest like such a
That's real.
mind, like it blows my mind. And so
Yeah.
but then like about it, like in what's that one drama, the Save Me, because that's kind of like the same similar setup, like with the main character, her, just like like what her family was going through, and even she was trying to find like these little moments of happiness, and people saw that, and they like
Mm-hmm.
tried to crush her in some ways. They did, but even when she was like in the fire of a lot of things, there were still like these moments of like where she had hope in those situations that things were going to be were, and those people saw it, and they were like, we gotta break this girl down some more. And they do something
Oh.
even more extra and crazy. I'm just like, is it really like this over there? But then again, I was like, yeah, because it's kind of like that here. Maybe because here living through it, I don't
Mm-hmm.
see it or pay attention. But I was like, you know what, it's stuff like that. I could probably make a situation happen just walking out the door saying, you know what, it's a good day today, I'm great. And then get a brick through my window or something. Please come by. We heard you were a little too happy. so
Yeah. I mean,
so I mean, to see, so in a way, like I want to see that more, but I know it's gonna be a challenge and stuff like that. I guess it's kind of what BTS saying, "Love yourself." Feels like, oh, that's so
yeah.
like on paper it sounds easy, but to like actually do it,
I
it's
mean,
really hard.
BTS
Yep.
did not invent music for y'all to think that their message was a joke. You can't stop them from loving themselves, and that's why they have so many haters. I solved it.
There you go.
That was
Oh,
the
yeah.
answer of that was the key to K-pop right there.
Right there.
I feel like
Right.
Y'all better get with it.
okay, let's round out things with Red Velvet. put simply, there's controversy with the group. Some people feel like with Red Velvet becoming more popular recently, that this is just kind of a result of that. But I personally feel like this is something that has been brewing for a while, at least with Red Velvet member Yeri. But I'll start with Irene, who has consistently been the most popular member of the group, interestingly enough. So it's kind of shocking to see her get in any kind of a scandal. Recently, she was on Weekly Idol and basically was completely disassociated from the show. She did not participate and was just like, I want to sleep. And so, they give on Weekly Idol, they give the idols like questions and things to write about themselves and answers to give. So, they gave Irene a card and asked her to like fill out things, and she left like most of the answers, like 85% of the answers, she left them blank. And then she said that she, wanted to sleep. And so a lot of the people, the staff, basically ended up writing the answers themselves. Basically filled in all the blanks for her because she didn't fill in anything. So this got out and people were appalled. They felt like she was being lazy and unappreciative, and that she should be more thankful to be in an idol group and on a show, and she should at least be participating like everyone else. And then there's also I don't know if this happened a while back, but there was a situation where she was on some show and she forgot the choreography or something like that, and just kind of like stood there for a second. Anyway, Irene's been kind of losing it a little bit lately. So she's got the public kind of questioning her. Poor Yeri has just not really, the public has not really been with her from the beginning, but she's really been taking a beating lately. Recently, people have been talking about how Yeri is struggling with Red Velvet's dance moves. And there's some videos out of her basically being several steps behind everyone else. It's kind of cute because she's doing the moves, but she's behind everyone else, which I don't see how they practice as much as they do, and that something like that wouldn't be pointed out and corrected, but there you go. And so, of course, netizens were more than happy to point that out, that she's, also lazy and is not doing the dance moves, and they think that she's just there to make famous friends. I think Yeri comes from a fairly well-off family, and they feel like she's just in the group because she's from a wealthy family, and she also doesn't care about being an idol or doing her job well. So Irene and Yeri are basically on the shit list right now with the public. Yeri has been on that list for a while, but I am kind of shocked that Irene has gotten in their bad graces. We've talked a bit about Red Velvet and their performance issues on the show. But it's kind of interesting that people are just starting to notice this now, especially during the middle of their power up promotions, because they're still winning everything. But they're also getting a lot of hate too. So this may just be a case of, the more publicity, the more fame you get, the more haters you get. So what do you guys think?
Okay, so I think it all boils down to them being really tired. Right now, I feel like Red Velvet has like what 2 to 3 promotions a year, and that's not even including whatever else they're doing because now they're doing tours and then like year-end stuff, weekly shows, concerts overseas. Joy is like acting as well too. And Wendy and Singri are doing a lot of variety. So I feel like they're very busy girls. And maybe it's starting to get to them. That's on one hand, and that's like just looking at it and trying to be fair to everybody. Irene, I don't really know much about Irene, mostly because she always seems like a blank piece of paper. Like there's nothing there. I don't know if I'm the only one who gets that, but I just feel like she doesn't really have a personality, or maybe she's just so shy she doesn't really show it. So I don't really notice Irene in the same way. I know like she's the visual and she's like the center, blah blah blah, but I don't really notice her that way. With Yuri, when she joined the group, I didn't get it. I felt that the group itself had already established itself with the 4 members and that they were doing fine on their own. And over time, she hasn't really proven that she's a good singer or a good rapper or a good dancer. So I'm still kind of confused about why Yuri's in the group to begin with. But I do think that it's like a witch hunt, and I think like that they're actually bullying Yuri at this point and Irene as well. And I can't really get on board with that, regardless of how I feel about, if she's lacking, because I do think she is lacking, but at the same time, she's in this group. SME is not removing her. She gets along well with her fans, and she has fans, and she gets along well with her coworkers. So like, at this point, either like them and support them or don't. Like all of this, like every single performance they have, there's an article or multiple articles about Yuri and her attitude, and the fact that she is like just in it to like network and to know celebrity. She doesn't want to really even be an idol, and all this other stuff. I'm just like, she's like 19, 20. I don't know. Like she's young. She still has years ahead of her to pick up some better skills if that's the case. Why are you? I don't know. I just think it's like gotten to a point where it's really mean. So I don't know. I can't really get on board with being mean. Being constructive with your criticism is one thing, but being mean is just, I can never co-sign on that. So I just want the girls to get rest at this point, because apparently they're giving Yuri like shots, energy shots, so that she can perform. And once your health starts to get all tangled up in this, like I just think it's best to put her maybe on a rest, allow the girls to sleep, and maybe even cancel I think they have another comeback scheduled this year. Cancel that and let them have a break.
What about their money? What about the money?
That's true.
What about them?
I don't know. It's really hard because like I'm not even like really that into Red Velvet, but I was like, these people are being really mean to this girl. Like,
yeah, Yuri is just
holy crap.
Yeah, Yuri has gotten it. I like I said before, I honestly feel kind of sorry for her, and I can kind of understand why people accuse her of not smiling and
Yeah.
being kind of
But when
like unapproachable or whatever. And it's like you can kind of understand you guys haven't exactly been nice to her this entire time, and at some point, you know, you deal with that kind of attitude from people for a while, and you just kind of say, screw it, you know, I'm just going to do what I want to do. And you know, I wouldn't blame her if that was her attitude.
right. But like, why? I don't understand. Like, while this is an issue for people like Yuri, but then like people like Leo, they make excuses for, well, up until a point, because I did see something recently about him. But for like he was quiet and he really didn't talk or like interact or have any facial expressions, and like for most part most of the fans were fine. I was a Vix fan at some point in my life, not anymore. Like he saw like there wasn't a big issue about that, but then like somebody that Crystal that's like the same way like as Leo, they really don't talk, they really don't show expression, you know, themselves. Problem. Like, oh, why is she smiling? You know, she's this, she's that. But I was like, she's acting the same way as Leo, and it's like, are you for real?
It's his chromosomes.
It has to be.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's like why I'm kind of
yeah.
like, even with these girls, and they're like wanting to talk about them, like, oh well, Yuri's young and she can't sing and dance, and I was like, well, so can a lot of these guys, and y'all don't see anything about them. So why is it? I mean, like Power Up, from what I have seen, has been, you know, getting some steam. I don't know why.
It's a terrible song.
It's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea, but I guess this is the way things are going. And, you know, like, you know, when you do rise up a little bit more attention, both good and bad. So, I mean, like, at the same time, I was like, I'm like, if we're gonna come for somebody about this, and you kind of need to come for everybody, instead of like singling them out, or like really like step back and look at this, or like, you know, somebody brings up, well, you're trying to say that she's this way, that she's really just trying to make networks. But what about so and so not doing the same thing? Now, granted that some people may not know about whoever else is doing this, but to just like single somebody out and like try and pretend like this kind of story like it's only happening for this one person, I'm not with it. And I mean, she's young, and I'm like, cut the girl some slack. I mean, you know, we were all young at that age too, so we were certain kind of what stuff like that. So,
I don't know. I would argue though that like
really
she like okay, I'm just gonna say like
she's supposed to do her job.
yeah, no, like, and I totally get that, but like a company like SME is gonna like you have to be at least one of those things, like in order to debut.
I don't know.
No, but like if you look at all of the groups that they have,
I don't know.
it's just so strange to me because like I never got it. Like I know there were theories about like the whole FX shakeup and like how it rebounded, and you know about their debut being rushed and like all this stuff. So I mean, like maybe there's a lot more behind the scenes, but like personally, I like especially considering like in comparison to how polished FX and Girls' Generation was when they debuted, and like how on top of their crap they had to be. Like even when like their house was on fire, they had to be like sitting there in the middle being like, it's fine. Like Red Velvet has always come off as like sort of like they still don't know what's going on with them. You know, like they've only now sort of realized like, okay, well, you know, like we do have their name being Red Velvet. Let's make sure that we keep consistently like dropping songs that are red or velvet. Whereas at the beginning they had that weird hair with the colors at the bottom, and like they were doing remakes and stuff because they hadn't really popped, and it was like very strange, very very strange. But like with Yuri, like she is like almost an anti-bias for me, and she always has kind of been, and I feel really bad about that because people are so mean to her, and I think it's totally unwarranted. But I just like I never understood why they added her to this group. She never added anything at all to this group. And I think too, she's kind of the reason that they have such young concepts that I'm pretty sure Irene is very done with, like in Rookie and almost in like Russian Roulette, where you're kind of just like, Irene is like going to be 30 very shortly. And it's like, why is she still performing these kind of songs? Because of the age gap in the group. It just, I don't know. As I said, I don't co-sign any of the things, the mean witch hunt kind of things that like cane nuts get up to whenever a group gets too big for their bristles. Like, I'm not really co-signing that at all, but I don't really understand Yuri in that group.
What about Irene? I think you're kind of getting onto something there where you're talking about the concepts, and Irene is 28 or 29 and she might be over it, you know.
Well, she's tired.
It reminds me of Jessica.
Like
when Jessica, like for lollipops, like she was like, I'm done. She's like, I can't do this anymore.
Well, Irene was training when they were. I heard a rumor that Irene was supposed to be in Girls' Generation because she is like she's older than Soyeon, right? Or she's around the same age as Soyeon. And they're like, I guess she was more like in the bridge. And then they just kind of kept her around.
How long was she trained for?
She was there for, I don't know.
If you're a trainee for more than 2 years, I think that's a sign.
Well, Hyoyeon, it was a trainee for like 10 years, no? She had like one of the longest trainee periods.
That sounds like a sign.
Jihyo and Min, I think, too,
some
was
of those
trainees
are there from the time that they're like preteens.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't
but then again,
like
think about what I said.
Is there.
But think about what I said earlier about like them making those like fake debut groups and then so I mean,
I mean, you know, I don't know what it's like to stand anyone who took that long to debut. I don't know what it's like to stand, you know, Suho and all of those people who had been training for like 15, the greater part of their lives, because I stand Shiny. And Taemin debuted like 2 months after he auditioned. So I mean, Taemin is younger than probably half of EXO. So yeah, you guys can continue talking about this. No, it just shocked me like to hear that. Like, how do you go from debuting with SNSD in what 2007 to debuting with Red Velvet 7 years later? What?
Oh, I might have been wrong about that. It might have been FX, but like,
well,
I mean,
FX roasted her.
Yeah, but that's still like FX debuted like 3 years after Girls' Generation did, maybe
that much longer after.
Yeah, so FX has been around for a very long time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just kind of crazy, like when you have such an age gap in a group, because then the concepts sort of like, as you said, like Irene could be tired, not just physically tired, but like emotionally tired of like having to like, you know, do young kitty concepts like Red Flavor, you know, and on top of the solo work that she does. But I honestly just think the girls are all just very tired.
And now they're getting called ungrateful.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be tired too if I've been training for 7 years. And then, I'd be exhausted.
Well, look at Jihyo from Twice. She was like a trainee for a very long time, and then she had to be on a reality show to get into her group. Can you imagine what that is like?
I mean,
like training for so long and then having to fight for your place.
That's a whole mess.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know, people. You know what? I'm not gonna get on the Twice hate train, but you know, she had to, you know, do all the things she had to do to debut, and I think it shows in the quality of Twice's music. Take it how you will. It's not shady. That's like I think, you know, they were
no, but I'm just like, so what is like if they can't sing, they can't dance, they can't rap,
I didn't
is
say
it
that. You
like
did.
they're no? I okay, yes, I know. I'm saying this. I know what I'm saying, but if they can't do all those things, but despite that, they still have this want to work with what they got, even if it's
Uh-huh.
nothing. Is that is
Jesus.
could that not be somewhat of a talent? I guess to
I mean,
whether you're aware of
Passion?
it or not.
it's got to
Yes.
be something because they are successful.
Yeah, I think
So
I don't
it's
you
that.
know, Twice is an
I mean,
anomaly. No, Twice is very talented. I don't understand. I'm not gonna do this. I'm done.
well,
I
that's okay. But I mean, but I'm saying like if you can't sing, dance, rap, anything, but it's if you can't do those
Sound
things,
like you
but you
describing
still
Sehu.
are, but you still are an idol, you still are performing. Does that not say something about you? Like, is it passion? Is it because unlike some people, like you can show up to work on time, ready to go? Because some people struggle with that. Is it something that we are not seeing?
I mean,
And
it sounds like dumb luck to me. I mean,
I mean, well, they got what they
this
need. That is their
rose.
talent.
I didn't know
I
Jay had it.
mean,
I didn't know you had it in you, Jay. This is. I haven't sipped this much in a minute, so.
I got tea brewing all the time, and when I serve it, I don't know when, but when I serve it, I serve it. And so, I guess some people that's their talent is just their passion. Like they can go through fake big group Google breakdown, and then they get to be the leader. But I guess they just came together in someone.
I mean, if somebody
So
said to me what Jay just said about Twice, I would feel. I don't know how I would feel. What kind of that's a backhanded compliment
because
right
that's
there.
why I'm not on Twitter. It's
That was all kinds of a backhanded compliment right there.
But you know what?
awesome.
Twice doesn't have to be like anything really because they're pretty. And that's
Yep.
currency. They're pretty and young. That's
Yep.
currency in Korea.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
But
That's not a lie.
connecting it back to Red Velvet, Yuri is not a visual.
Uh,
Irene at least is a visual. So
But is she? But isn't she rich? Because I mean, when you're
Okay,
rich,
but
yeah,
you can
when
do
you
all
got
kinds of
money,
things.
that yeah.
So I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, which is
if
why
it's,
people are saying she's just there to make, you know,
I mean,
celebrity
well,
connections.
So she
maybe
just
she's
likes to
thinking
be a
long
celebrity.
term.
Yeah, she's trying
So,
to get on that Kardashian plan.
yeah. Well, you know what? With all the hard work she's
does she
putting
have an
in, she deserves it.
Instagram? Right?
She
Does she have an
should.
Instagram?
You
Because
know
I
what?
mean,
If she sold flat
she
tummy
can work
tea,
that.
I
She
think they
can
have
work
personal
that. Because
Instagrams. I like private personal
see,
Instagrams and then like just an official Red Velvet one.
ooh, speaking of, I
she's about
think
to be Instagram famous.
I found some sasae accounts that were
Oh
spilling
my
tea and
gosh.
people didn't even I don't like sasaes, but they were spilling some heavy tea. Like I was like, whoa.
Where are you finding all of these like accounts and stuff, Jamin?
I actually just happened to be scrolling, doing my regular rounds on social media, and something just looked a little fishy to me. So I looked into it and I looked at the posting history of the person, and they were like predicting things months in advance. And I was like, either you're psychic or you're like a sasang, or like you're somebody, you know what I mean? Like, and which one is more
Right.
possible?
Right.
I was like, how did y'all know that BTS was gonna collaborate with Nicki Minaj like 3 months ago, before they knew? I was like, wow, I'm gonna have to keep tabs on these accounts,
Right.
so I've saved them.
Okay, well,
This is so.
Jamin, I might have to make you like our official like gossip, like
Yeah.
curator or something, because you seem to be able to like find all this information that I have never heard of.
Exactly.
Okay, is there anything else to be said about Red Velvet or Irene or Yeri?
I just hope that they rest. I hope they scrap whatever comeback they have coming. They've already proved themselves with the Bad Boy and Red Flavor or whatever they just dropped right now.
Power
Last month.
Up.
Power Up? Yeah.
Power Up.
They've already proven themselves on the charts, like internationally and in Korea. I don't think they have anything else to prove this year. Why don't they just use whatever money they were going to use on that comeback and actually give Girls' Generation as they are, a proper comeback? Since they scrapped their 10th year anniversary, anyways.
Well, they are coming back with the members that they have left. So, is
Taeyeon and the
anybody
girls.
excited for that, by the way?
I'm
Who?
interested.
Girls' Generation is coming back as well
Oh
as
yeah.
with the remaining members.
I don't really need Taeyeon, but yeah.
It's yeah, I mean Taeyeon is gonna be there.
She's gonna be the only person singing, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the only
they do.
thing.
I mean, they do kind of need her. I mean, she's basically the only.
Well, Jay made a good point earlier that you don't actually need a singer or a rapper or a dancer. You could just
throw people
have
in
a
there.
group like Twice.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but they're not young, so I don't know if that concept's gonna work for
Wow,
them.
you guys are on a roll.
well, I'm looking at the comments here, and people are calling them Auntie Generation,
Well,
Ajuma Generation.
What looking ones?
So
Girls'
yeah,
Generation
But that
really
be-
doesn't fit them anymore, though. Like,
But that's their brand.
maybe
That's
maybe Woman's Generation.
I just hope they
Ladies'
get a
generation.
mature. I just hope they get a mature song because they really deserve one. I mean, at this
After
point,
Holiday,
I'd take
after
G Part 2.
they dropped Holiday with those janky ass hair twist and whatever the hell else that was going on in that video, they deserve
I'm
it.
surprised that none of them quit like right there from that. If I mean, if the ones that didn't re-sign later were just like didn't make that decision at that moment, that they were like, you know what, this is it. I'm not coming back to this messed up
The
company.
brand, they need money,
Kind
and
of
the brand is like this
right.
Soshi bond that's fake. FYI, because if it was real, there would have been some sort of issue like with Jessica being kicked out or whatever happened
Yeah,
there.
Jessica blew that one wide open. So
Yeah, so the Soshi bond, like I think though they are a bit closer now because they saw like if their second most popular member could just be discarded by SME, I think they realized their own worth in that sense. So I think they have gotten stronger in that sense. But also the brand is like where the money is at. They have dome tours in Japan. You think SME is just gonna be like, okay, let's just not have that as a possibility in the future.
I mean,
And also Taeyeon is their biggest solo female artist, really, or solo
Yeah.
artist in general. So
Well,
they're
Amber
gonna
Lou.
want to. Sorry.
Amber Lou. Don't forget her recent release.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot.
It. Yeah, it's poor Amber. I feel bad for Amber.
oh,
But does anybody believe the bonds in in SM groups? Like, does anybody really believe that they're like
No.
actually friends? Like, be real.
Some of
they're
them might-
probably
some
as
of
much
them
coworkers as everybody else. I actually
Yeah.
think in SM
Right.
that they're even more of coworkers because something about SM just seems so mechanical and like
Yeah.
business-like to me that I feel like they're all just really good at being
Pretending.
like
Honestly,
yeah, they're good at being coworkers with each other.
and I know I might sound a little biased or a lot biased, but the only group I really believed was Shiny. I think it's just because they just come off as more genuine people. Like Taemin just says things that are like, why would you say that on broadcast? Which lets me know that he's just speaking like brain to mouth, like there's no filter in between. So, I mean, they seem like coworkers too, but it seems more like they actually care about it. And especially after, what happened, it just feels like they actually, somewhat care about each other, unlike EXO, who like haven't EXO hasn't seen Leia in about like 3 years. And Leia is just living his
And he's
best
finally
life.
coming back. I wonder how the chemistry is gonna be on that music set.
I think they low key like some of the members just straight don't like that guy. So I don't know. Like every time they're on stage, I'm like, you
I mean, they
really like
already seem like they stand being around each other.
exactly.
I can imagine like right after they get off the stage, they just like all like just immediately split off in different directions and don't even look at each other.
Yep. Even NCT, I love those babies. I love Headchin, that's my baby. But even NCT, I mean NCT is like individually, like on their own, they're all weird, and robotic in a way. But like you would think maybe the younger ones would be more like close, and to some extent, I guess like the Dreamies are, but they just act really estranged with each other. I'm pretty sure Taeyong doesn't even know like 90% of them. Like I'm pretty sure for real. I don't think he's even met most of them in like a formal context.
Well, I mean, he has like what, like maybe 50% of the lyrics are his in the group, so he doesn't need to know
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
He doesn't need to know anybody in the group besides Mark and that guy he did that "Baby Don't Play" song with. Those are the only two
Okay,
people he knows.
10 does not deserve the disrespect and the slander that Nat is throwing over his way. 10 is not Amber Lou. We have not forgotten about him.
Oh my
Sure.
gosh.
I do think that Crystal and Sully are actual friends. Only because Crystal still supports her, like after she got kicked out or dropped or whatever heck happened with that. So, and I think Amber and Luna are friends only because they're both unemployed and just really bored and want to make music. So they take a lot of pictures together like outside of like the work that they have to do. So I would say like the FX girls, I don't know about Victoria, but like the other four, they seem like they actually have real relationships with each other. But I don't know about anybody else.
All
Oh,
right.
for goodness sake.
Well, is there anything else before I wrap things up? Is there anything else that we wanted to mention? Any other little pieces of news?
I think it's this 10-year anniversary. I think it's either today, sometime in this 3-day grace period. They got bops.
Ooh.
They're still
Who? Sorry?
standing. You kiss.
Oh,
I
you
thought
guys.
you.
Oh yeah, I
Later.
saw that they took a picture together, and I was like, are they still together?
Yes,
Like,
I know.
okay.
Most people are like, "Who?"
Okay.
But
Yes. What
No,
Well,
a name.
years
I
later,
like you
some-
because
but
they've been through a lot, and
yes, go watch Neverland, please. Go watch Neverland. Support iconic bops, okay?
well, I guess if we're giving shout outs, Shinhwa just dropped their 20th
Yeah.
anniversary CD. It's actually pretty good. The first, it's like really grown and like laid back and chill. Like they're on their grown man vibe, which I'm kind of feeling. Um, I mean, support it if you want. Don't if you don't want. Like, Shinhwa is problematic as well, so I can't really
Yeah.
like tell you to buy their stuff because I just couldn't do it. So, um, I'm just mentioning it as a shout out. Like, their album dropped. It's not so bad. Do what you want with that. Yeah.
Since we're giving shout outs, I just want to give a smooth shout out to NCT Dream. They are graduating Mark. So Mark is becoming a real adult. And I'm so excited for them. I honestly, they're the hardest working boys in show business. They deserve all the support and love. Support NCT really. Just understand that when you support NCT, you're really keeping Korea's economy afloat. Um, they they employ about half of the male population of Korea, so I really say support them, and
Good.
happy birthday to NCT Dream, and congratulations to Mark. And yeah, just don't do anything stupid between now and that album release, because I don't want to have to cancel you.
Yeah. You know, Mark is actually my favorite member of NCT, right?
You've got to be
He's,
joking.
I am not even joking. Mark is my favorite
Wow.
member of NCT.
He's like the one of like three people that I know him, Ten, and Taeyeon.
Taeyeon.
And I think
Taeyeon,
that's
that
it.
boy.
He's the
Mm.
only rapper that like I actually believe in at SME. Like he's the only
Fair
one
enough.
that I think can actually rap, and he's just like a cute little kid. I'm like, oh, he's like
He's
my
also
son.
just like really like interesting. Like I watched recently their propaganda for getting people to travel to
I
Seoul.
thought so. Awesome.
That's what it was. It was propaganda. I'm not lying. Uh, so I recently watched it, and he just was like so interested, like genuinely in everything, and like
Yeah,
I don't know. He just has like a really like inquisitive nature about him that I really like in people,
he seems
and
very pure. I don't know,
yeah,
just like
it's
he's like
dope that he's from
actually
Canada.
interested.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he's also Canadian, so I have to represent that as
of
well.
course. He's like
Oh,
Drake, basically.
yeah. Shout out also to Chris Wu, who was actually in Canada over the weekend performing at the
Hmm.
iHeart Radios, MMVAs. It was his like North American debut, I think. I don't know the song he performed. The whole thing was kind of a bit tryhardy, but you know what?
Sounds like Chris Wood.
I like Chris. I like Chris, and I'm always rooting for him. So, I mean, good for him. Hopefully, he releases better music in the future, so we can actually talk about it.
Yeah, he's
But
not
yeah,
ugly.
no, no, and he seems like was not a crappy guy. He wasn't EXO, so we don't know for sure if they were just like recruiting all crappy people. But oh my god, we're gonna get so much flame for this
I know.
episode.
We've managed to insult pretty much every major every
Pretty
major
much
fan base.
everybody.
But we do
We
it out
all
of
wanted our
love. We
own
love them.
entities after us.
All these groups, they have
We
to
have each
understand
of
we love all these
these.
groups. We love BTS. We love Twice. We don't love EXO, but that's okay.
We don't
Like,
hate EXO. I don't think
yeah,
because they have what? Overdose is still my song. So you know what? I don't hate EXO. I'm just
right.
not.
You support the music, you don't support the
I don't
behavior.
really
Well, we don't support the music.
support the
We That's a
music
little too
either.
far.
No, no, no.
As I came on my
Okay, I think it's time to wrap it up.
okay, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Last shout out to Impact, who did
Oh
have a
yeah, that
dope
was dope.
single.
Oh yes, in fact, shout out to
They had a
them.
dope single, and shout out to Golden Child because just because.
Just
Yeah.
because.
D Crunch.
Amber.
Remember who they are.
Are we done with the shout outs now?
Yeah,
Yes.
Totally forgot about them. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We're done. We're done today. We're
Okay.
done.
All right. You can always reach us here at Not Your Average Netizens at NYA Netizens on Twitter. We also have a Facebook page, and we also have a email, notyouraverage netizens@gmail.com. Feel free to drop us a line. As always, please, when you take a listen to us on SoundCloud, feel free to leave a comment or critique, or we are also on iTunes, and feel free to leave a comment, critique, rate us, give us a review. Let us know how we're doing. It's a good thing to know. It helps us plan our shows out, helps us come up with some more ideas, maybe do something that you guys, the listeners, would be more interested in hearing. So drop us a line. If there's nothing else, no more shout outs, I want to thank everybody, plus Jay, who snuck in. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. And we had a really great discussion. And I think that's it. So we'll see you guys on the next episode. And see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.